What it be, what it is, everybody. We got a big show today. Get people tuned in for the live speech. It's one of those days we are preempted by the big guy, Donald Trump. So we are not doing our regular show today. We will be mystery science. What is it called? Mystery Science Theater? Damn it. I'm retarded. 3,000. I know that. So we'll be in the corner and Trump will be talking and you guys will be able to talk about it. Part Justin says, Happy Taco Tuesday. Yes. Taco Tits, I see as a nickname for Donald Trump. I wonder why the size of these changes all the time. Pirate Justin is happy that Bitcoin went up today. He's trying to rub it in my face, but it's going back down again. But Bitcoin was up a lot today. I'm wearing my Bitcoin Save shirt. These are for sale. Oh, what is going on? Banners. Show. There we go. Wow, man. What the hell is going on? I got rid of that thing that says Nathan. That's so stupid. Layout. Visual effects. Camera. General. Show resolution badge. I can't remember. I had to ask AI how to fix that. Banners. Everything's different today. Why is technology like that? I could show you guys my interactions with the AI today. They were really embarrassing for it. I said, how can something so smart be so stupid? But I guess it's a reflection of myself. You can buy shirts like the one I'm wearing. It says Bitcoin Saves for $10 right now at our sale at truthclothing.io. You can also support the show anytime by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Get that out of the way. This is a live episode. We don't expect people to tune in after the fact, so it doesn't matter what happens. This is all ephemeral. If you want to learn a big word, ephemeral is the word of the day. So let's try to track it down. It should be on the White House channel. He's going to be talking about the economy. We could do a drinking game if you're into that. We have a few predictions for what he's going to say based on what other people have said. He gives himself, I'll repeat this probably. On the economy, Trump was asked to give himself a grade. He gave himself an A++++, I believe. That's what I heard. I couldn't find a clip of him saying it, though. I think that's the correct number of pluses. It was many. Bob, many people are still finding me. What is going on? That banner is so huge. Bob Ross, Antichrist, Christ. Holy shizza, where did you come from? It's been a minute since I've tuned in. So happy to have you back if you've been back. Thanks, dude. Nice avatar. Looks like a pyramid with a sun. Kind of, I don't know if it's pagan, ritualistic. Style. There we go. Boom. Get rid of that. Figured that out. Minimal. Okay, got that. Now let's see what comments look like. Different. See? I know how to fix things. So we're going to cover Trump. Let's see if people tune in for this. Maybe it would have been better just to go with the show about the drama in the news. Tim Pool called Candace Owens a cunt on his show yesterday. So I have that clip for you guys. She says she received in a dream. No, she received in an email that it's the military now that killed Charlie Kirk. So I can show you guys some clips. We'll see if people tune into a channel like this to catch the Trump rally, where we are on at an unusual time, and Trump has not begun yet. Look at that. Somebody else. Okay. Well, good. We're getting people who haven't seen me forever. Okay, cool. It's just weird the way the algorithm works. I've been back now. People will tell you, I think, on this channel I didn't disappear completely, which is the name of a Radiohead song, I think. How to Disappear Completely. I didn't disappear completely. I still existed on another channel on YouTube after this channel was summarily struck down when I was covering the vaccine in 2020, I believe, maybe 2021. I guess that's when the vaccine really came out 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I was existing on another channel till earlier this year. I had a mental breakdown live in front of everyone. Didn't stream for a long time. Then they gave me this channel back, this one that you're watching right now, with almost 100,000 subscribers. And eventually I came back, but I've been back almost a month. And people keep saying, hey, good to see you again. Thanks, dude. Haven't seen me since Isaac Cappy days. That's 2017, I think. That's a long time ago. That was the height of this channel. Now we are at the low of this channel, but it doesn't matter because we cover the news and people like it. The people that do find it, they like it. It's different, but they like it. Some of the people who subscribed a long time ago, because I used to cover conspiracy theories, they're unsubscribing, but that's okay too. Because I know there are some new people. All right, so maybe I should look at the White House feed. Maybe I should cover some news quick before the show starts. He's going to say golden age. We can drink when that happens. They're going to say next year is going to be awesome. You just wait. Lucky Duck says in silver we trust. Yeah, I know. It hurts me when the price goes up. I bought some SLV, the stock silver trust, but I had a lot of silver. When I went crazy, I maxed out my credit cards. I had to pay them off, and I sold all my silver when it was like 36. Now it's 60. Would have been better off. But credit cards are a very high rate. You just never know what's going to happen. So at least I have good credit and no debt. But I wish I had silver instead, considering what it's doing. Some people say it's just going to break everything. Good for you, Lucky Duck. It's what I started telling people about, so I should feel good about it. I told people to buy silver forever, ever since I started in 2015. I said, buy silver and the Fed. So I should feel good about it the more it goes up. But I wish I had my stash. But I'll buy some more. It could go down again. I'm betting on a collapse. So, Mr. Cranky, yes, I am covering Tim Pool's meltdown. I should have led with it, probably. Considering my channel and my algorithm, I probably should have led with that and just skipped this speech. But it is Trump talking. I have to cover the news. So hopefully some people will tune into this channel. Yeah, I'll cover Tim Pool's meltdown. Hey, Gloria B. I'm an old timer too. Somebody told me I'm an incel today. I'm like a groiper incel. Somebody was like, hey, you're a groiper incel and you're 47. The kids must love that. I was like, yeah, probably. If they knew what this channel was. I have an older audience. More sophisticated, I should say. People who existed before AI, before smartphones. People who remember. People who know how to use a rotary phone and a VCR. Thanks, Gloria B. You're cool. Do you guys want your comments bigger? I can do this. I can do this. Is that better? Do you like seeing your comments? You want to see Tim Pool's meltdown right now? I'll show you. He called Candace Owens the C word. And people are he's threatening to cancel his show, which people have pointed out he's threatened to do many times in the past. It's like the 5th time or something. I have some videos of Trump. Okay. So let's get to showing some stuff. Here it is. You ready? Nuckfugget, you want an incel t-shirt? What t-shirt should I make? If I could stay in business, if people would pay full price for t-shirts. Right now they're on liquidation sale, so we're selling them, which is great. But then they'll all be gone. And I'm about to file to close the business because I have to pay taxes on it every year, no matter how many shirts we sell. And then I have to pay to keep the Shopify open, which is like $50 a month or whatever. So there's all these expenses that go along with having a business, and we're still growing. But I think about it. Just takes an investment, and it takes a good idea. Right now, we're stuck with a lot of cryptocurrency shirts. All right. But buy them. They're only $10. They're awesome. And cryptocurrency will be good in the long term, just because I think it's probably going to go down at some point when AI crashes. JP Morgan stock was down a lot today. Banks might fail. We're close. We're close to the precipice of disaster. It's Black Pill Tuesday, just like every day. Here's Tim going off. Okay, so Tim says his last show, to catch you up on the drama, Tim Pool hates Candace Owens. I think he said he blamed her for the entire collapse of the conservative movement and the fact that Republicans are going to lose in the midterms. He blamed all of it on Candace Owens. Where am I going to pick up this rally? Hold on. Trump rally PA. Let's see. See, I can tune into Right Side News Network, but I don't want to snipe their feed. That's going to have all their stuff on it. There's got to be a public, like a PBS or The Hill. The Hill is streaming it. That's another proprietary feed. I want like C-SPAN or something. Here, PBS. Okay, great. Okay, got it. I got playing music that I can't play. All right, let me just show you that it's there, and we're there right here. Looks like a relatively small room. Bigger paychecks, lower prices is what it says on the stage. So he's going to talk about how, he's at a casino. He's going to talk about no tax on tips. That's why he's at a casino, apparently. People are going to get the biggest refunds ever. None of these things will help inflation, actually. It'll make it worse, theoretically, but people are going to get bigger tax refunds, so hopefully they'll have more money to buy things that are more expensive. He's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about how gas is cheap. But I think gas is cheap because we're in a recession, technically, or not technically, but in reality, the K-shape style. The normal American is experiencing a recession, and only the rich are propping up the economy at this point, the top 10%. But gas is really cheap, especially compared to everything else. Should be way higher considering how much inflation and money printing we've done. So that's true. But actually, the president doesn't have that much to do with that. I'm sure we're pumping a lot of oil, but you can't, it's hard to control the price of oil. But it is cheap. Not here in California. $4.50 a gallon here. All right, here's Tim Pool. What do they call it? Crashing out.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah,
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy. And it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie. She loved Charlie. And she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again. This conservative movement is fractured. It's fried, whatever it is. Okay. Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens.
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail.
What a fucking cunt.
Of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she didn't
fucking
it's funny when
you
people
had
say that
some
word.
benefit, or that you benefit somehow.
She benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her.
Okay, there you go. She put out a video. She put out a video yesterday, her live stream, before she started blaming the military, which I can show you, I think. She is very inconsistent about who's to blame for Charlie Kirk's death. She thinks it's Israel, France, the government, and TPUSA, but switches around all the time. She made a thumbnail that was like, who benefited the most from Charlie Kirk's death on her show yesterday. And the thumbnails or the images were Kash Patel and then Tim Pool. And that is kind of fucked up. He apparently, and I'm not going to say it's not true. Somebody called the sheriff, the local police, and asked if he really got shot at. And they told him they had no record of it. I don't know. Is he lying? I don't know. Candace says one time he was shot at, that he crashed out. It was his brother. He has threatened to shut down Timcast IRL at least 4 times, including this one, apparently. Has never done it. He says his last show is going to be the 19th. He seems very concerned for his security. And he seems to be blaming Candace Owens for making him feel unsafe. And I don't know if he's putting the blame in the right day. And I don't know if he's putting the blame in the right place. I'm not sure. Candace Owens followers are the type to shoot at his property. There are a lot of cat ladies following Candace Owens, and a lot of, I don't know if it's like unhinged leftists that seem to be doing most of the violence, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to have security. In a lot of ways, it makes me feel a lot safer not being well known. When I was more well known, it was annoying in a lot of ways. especially people like publicly attacking you and stuff like that. I've been in Candace's shoes where I was insane. And well, I'm not going to say she's insane for sure, but when I was going off on conspiracy theories and casting aspersions at different YouTubers and stuff, everybody hated me and made videos about me and stuff. It's annoying. But thankfully, I never had to deal with any violence except for DeFango threatening to come to my house, which I found threatening. Candace Owens, I must have saved it. Come on. Here. So now Candace Owens, apparently on Instagram, is blaming the military. So here it is. It's in text, so I'm not sure if she's saying anything. I can read you the text. Yeah, it's just text. Yesterday was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. In Catholic world, that's a day of holy obligation. So as soon as my podcast ended, I raced over to church for Mass. I distinctly prayed for a final peace, not P-A-S-E, C-E, but P-I-E-C-E, a final peace she prayed for. I prayed for God to give me a piece to the Charlie Kirk mystery that would be a nail in the coffin and expose the cover-up. I checked my email. Here we go. I went home, had a late dinner, went up to lay in my daughters for 15 minutes before going to down to my, wow, English. Just like, it's one thing not to use AI. I think that's noble, but then to write English is, people are going to be more, it's just going to get worse and worse. Before going to down to mine, lay in my daughters for 15 minutes before going to down to mine, and thought, I'll just check the tips inbox. It was the first email I opened. I genuinely cannot see this as anything other than an immediately answered prayer, a story from a man in the military that is about to blow this case open. Finally, it feels like today will be the day that the government can no longer deny it. Charlie Kirk was assassinated and our military was involved. I can't wait to share this information with you guys today. So she might be live during Trump's speech. Would I venture to say more people total are going to tune into Candace Owens than Trump? I don't know. She goes at the same time. I think that's all of it. So there you go. So now it's the military. That's going to piss off the military probably. Conan the Destroyer says, I'm doing a couple cat ladies. They can be unhinged. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Now, we used to talk about cat ladies that follow George Webb. George Webb is also very women, what do they call it? Coded. They say Candace Owens' podcast is women coded. And George Webb, and he used to get tips this way too. She gets tips from anonymous emails and they tell her things and she believes them typically. But I don't know how she knows they're not fucking with her. Like, I don't know. I think the jury's still out on the email about the Egyptian planes, whether that was just some kind of prank or whether that was legit. But I don't know. What do I know? Maybe the truth will be revealed. We want that. Hopefully she shows up at Turning Point. Otherwise, it's just going to drag on forever. Erica Kirk did an interview. She was out on TV selling sad stories. Pirate says, I admire Candace's tenacity, but she's a grifter. She certainly is doing it well. She's certainly making the dough. So it is ironic. I mean, I get where Tim Pool's coming from, even if he is a little unhinged and maybe is trying to be dramatic. He says he's going to stop doing IRL on the 19th. That's when they go on their Christmas vacation. And he just says it's because of security problems. He says, like, because he has to have people in person at his remote hideout, that he has to disclose his address all the time to people that may or may not share his address with people. And sometimes he has leftists on. And he said he had some leftist on and they were like casing his house before the interview. So I feel him. The guy in his show is like, well, why don't you get a studio in a secure building in a city? And the guy was telling him to move to Florida and get a penthouse in like a protected building, which honestly, that would be I'm sure he can get secure enough. It's almost, he hates cities, I guess. I guess he left New York. Is that where he was? New York? I guess he left New York to go to the boonies and he likes it in the boonies. He thought he'd be safer there. But actually, maybe it's kind of less safe because you don't have a secure facility. I don't know. Seems like he could afford to build. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Rich people have fences, and I'm sure it would cost a lot of money to put in something that was more impenetrable, but you could get a gate with a code so people can't enter the property, and you could get fences that were tall enough so people couldn't get over them, I would think, but I don't know. I'm not going to call him. I appreciate Tim. I think he speaks his mind. He's super annoying sometimes. He does seem to cover up for Israel. Windhammer says Candace's controlled opposition. She appeared out of nowhere, all scripted. Well, I'm going to just challenge that. She's been around. She's been around in many different forms. I think originally she was like Red Pill Black. I think that was her name. She was like a token Black female conservative. After early in her life, she was a liberal. She was a Black female attractive conservative. So what these organizations do is they try to pick out young people, like once they realize they can be influential, and then like get them under their wing or whatever. So I think she worked at Prager. Then she worked for Daily Wire. She's been around for a long time, since she was young. She certainly didn't appear out of nowhere. But I mean, the hook was that she was a Black female, which is a rare thing for a conservative. And then she's attractive. So they hired her to talk about stuff, even though she's not like totally a genius or anything. She appeals to women. She appeals to a lot of men too. But she's been around a long time. Certainly didn't appear out of nowhere. I'm going to dispute that. She's been around in many different forms. We're waiting for the event. We're going to cover it live. We're covering just like other basic news right now for people who are tuned in to see the show. I'll show you that it exists. Here's the stage. I'm tuned in for it. I might even turn on the sound so I can hear it, just so I don't miss the beginning. It was supposed to start 8 minutes ago, officially. Cool. That's the latest. Candace Owens. Let me give you some previews for what we're going to be talking about today. Control to ground control to Major Tom. All right. Donald Trump, affordability is what he's going to be talking about. We mentioned that he doesn't want to take accountability for any affordability issues, even though he's certainly part of the blame, and tariffs may be a big part of it. They're pressing people. He's giving $12 billion to farmers because of tariffs. There's an argument about whether that's even enough to prop up the tariffs, to prop up the farmers, because of how much money they lost. Here's a little clip from CNN challenging somebody on the affordability stuff. So I'll play some clips about affordability.
Prices. We are helping the American farmers. Donald J. Trump knows the importance of feeding America and the world, and we're going to get it done.
But that's not what farmers are telling you, right? I know that you've heard from them. They say they're hurting from tariffs. I know you had a town hall this summer. KMIZ reported about one farmer telling you it's not just that China was retaliating, they're not buying soybeans, even though that's back now. But tariffs actually drove up prices of fertilizer and other farm goods. So, I mean, this idea of loans, but when you are paying more for goods that you paid a certain price for before, and your margins are pretty slim, do you think the administration is understanding this? Do you think they're getting that message?
Oh, yeah, they do. And they understand, as I do, that it was Joe Biden that drove up the price of fertilizer and fuel with his war on fossil fuels.
Well, no, that's not what this farmer told you. So what do you say to him?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
But that's not what this farmer told you, and he's the farmer who's telling you. He's telling you, and sir, excuse me, this farmer, you heard him. He said this to you.
Russia.
This farmer explained to you when he saw his prices rise.
So yes, we need to look at fertilizer prices. Fuel has come down and will continue to come down thanks to Donald Trump.
Are you listening to your constituents? Because he was very clear about why his prices were going up.
Brianna, I did 15 stops on a town hall tour, one of the few Congress members on the Republican side and the Democrat side to actually do that. Yes, ma'am, I listened. I took 256 questions and sat there and listened to insults, listened to yelling, listened to name calling, and answered when they wanted to be respectful. I remember that farmer. I understand his concern, but the large number of farmers in Missouri believe in Donald J. Trump and that he's going to get things done. We're doing that with beef prices. We have the A+ Act, which we have introduced. It's going to allow livestock marketing associations to participate in meat processing to make sure that these larger, the big five, as I call them, meat processors don't have a lock on the market.
Okay. Just sharing it on Twitter. I never share anything on Twitter. So anyway, these tariffs are not bringing down prices, but Trump is probably going to say that. Let's see if Trump says, for our drinking game, let's see if Trump says that he's collecting tariffs from overseas. What the big lie. Even like Laura Ingraham was on Twitter and she was like, oh yeah, we're getting money from other countries and giving it to farmers. What a win. It's like, these people must think we're stupid. Trump's going to say it again, probably. He'll say we're making so much from other countries that we're not going to have income tax anymore. We've only brought in a couple billion, which certainly can't replace income tax. But let's see if he says that tonight. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, Donald Trump also said, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. His grade to himself on the economy is A++++. That's his grade to himself on the economy. So here's a question about that.
Finally, as we look to the president's trip to Pennsylvania, I'm just when you heard that interview that the president had where he said the economy he'd given A++++, do most Pennsylvanians agree with the president on that, or what do they want to see change in the economy if they're not happy with it?
Well, I think the starting point is we're digging out of a huge hole that we're in as a result of the Biden administration, 22% compounded inflation. And that what the president's saying is we've done a remarkable amount over the last 12 months. The economy is better. Real wages are up by 4%. Inflation is down. It's about half of what it was on average during the Biden administration. But there's a lot more work to do. Working families that are living paycheck to paycheck, they're still feeling crunched by healthcare, by energy costs. So we need to keep on the president's agenda. And we got a lot of wind at our back with deregulation, with the tax cuts that go into place as the big, beautiful bill goes into effect in 2026. We've got energy dominance. All of these are going to make it much better for consumers, much better for workers in Pennsylvania. So I think he's going to take stock of where we are, but I think he's going to lay out the vision of where we're headed and how the policies already are going to have huge benefit for Pennsylvania.
Very quick.
That's it. So I think one of the talking points is Biden did it. We're fixing it. The guy said inflation is down, but when people hear inflation is down, they're like, what are you talking about? Prices are up. The rate of inflation is down, he said, compared to Biden's entire term, but they're actually the same as when Biden was still president. So actually inflation is the same. And that's actual fact as Biden's last month in office, where the inflation rate actually hasn't come down any extra. It had already come down. So see how he takes credit for it. Inflation. Let's see if he says the Democrat hoax. I mean, I'm curious if he'll go off strip. He doesn't like talking about the economy not being good, which most people, especially young people, think it is not good. Golden age, we're looking for that. This is a quote from one of his people, Brooke Rollins. They're just saying next year. And I mean, I don't see things improving next year, but maybe I'm wrong.
Gas is down, lumber is down, eggs are down, Larry Kudlow. Really, everything is coming down. But we believe so sincerely. Listen, we're not tone deaf. We know that America, or a lot of Americans at least, are like, well, we're still not feeling the relief. The relief is coming. The structure is there. The one big, beautiful bill, tax cuts go into effect. Costs are coming down. It really is a golden age just right around the corner. And I am so excited and so grateful as the president now moves out across the country next year to talk about it as we continue the work here in Washington to make sure it happens.
Brookie, one thing directly in your mail, Madam Secretary.
Gas
there you
is
go.
Down.
Golden age right around the corner. JD Vance said people need to have patience. But when they say prices are down, they're not, obviously. When they say inflation's down, it's not either. Here's a poll for how young people feel. The people that listen to the Groypers, the people that listen to Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, young men and young women too. I'll show you that.
This isn't falling into the water. This isn't going underseas. This is going into a deep, dark, black hole. Look at that, minus 46 points. That is a shift on the net approval of 56 points in the wrong direction since February. My goodness gracious, you know I love looking at these swings, looking how the electorate changes. You rarely ever see swings.
We look at a lot of polls. We almost never see drops this big, this quickly.
Yeah.
Any sense of why? What issues may be driving it?
You know, look, we've been talking about it. You were talking about it last segment with Mr. Matt Egan. It's the economy, stupid. I mean, just take a look here. Age 18 to 29 on Trump and the economy. Back in October of 2024, who did those under the age of 30 trust? Harris or Trump? It was Trump by 10 points, according to the Marquette University Law School poll. Look at where his net approval rating is now on the economy. minus 52 points, very similar to what we saw in the CBS News YouGov poll in terms of his overall drop in support on the net approval rating. And this minus 52, it's just stunning. It's just stunning. I mean, John is here with me. John, who, of course, ran a political campaign eons ago, someone who studied political science eons ago. I don't want to make you seem that old, but he has looked at these polls as long as I have, and he's just as stunned as I am, because the bottom line is you rarely ever see shifts like this.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Really, I can see why they're shocked. Young people must just change their minds a lot faster about things. The old people are pretty locked in on Trump, and they showed that other poll that his favorability amongst Republicans is the same as it was 6 months ago. Young people must change their minds a lot faster. Young people also voted for Trump and then voted for Mamdani. So it's not a consistent ideology. And actually, Trump ran on affordability. I showed that clip. Last year, when he was trying to get elected, he said affordability all the time, which is exactly what Mamdani did. And as I haven't heard a good plan to fix it. I sure haven't heard a good plan to fix it. Certainly not tariffs to fix inflation. You can argue that tariffs will drive up wages, maybe after a decade, when we have factories here and stuff, if the next president actually keeps them in place. You can argue that. You can argue that getting rid of illegals will drive up wages. You can argue that. You can argue that tax cuts will give people more money, but that doesn't help inflation. And inflation isn't down. Even the rate isn't down, but prices definitely aren't down. And everybody says they're going to start raising prices next year. All the retailers bought a bunch of stuff before the tariffs, stockpiled it, and have been waiting and waiting to pass on the cost to consumers. And meanwhile, they've been kind of suffering because of it, small businesses especially, but also car builders, Ford, GM. They've lost a bunch of money because of tariffs. But prices on those cars are going up a bunch now because they get adjusted every year. I heard prices on cars, American cars, are going up $2,000 when they normally go up about $400 a year for next year. Retailers say they're going to start raising prices after the holidays to reflect the losses they've been taking on tariffs. Dropping interest rates doesn't help inflation. If anything, it makes it worse, assuming all things stay equal. The only thing that can keep prices down is lack of demand from people being unemployed or broke, which is, I think, what we're seeing in gasoline. Is that actually we're in a recession, most of us. Yeah, there's less demand. Here's an Arkansas farmer saying that $12 billion isn't enough.
$12 billion. How's that sound to you?
Well, I appreciate the help, but it's a far cry from what we need. Just the loss in corn this year with a record crop was over 16 billion. The loss in soybeans at production is around 11 billion. That doesn't count cotton and rice, which are even bigger losses than that.
So this $12 billion is not going to make up for this 1 year. I mean, say China goes back to buying soybeans and other crops as they were buying before this trade war. Is $12 billion not enough to bridge that gap?
Probably not.
$12 billion.
There you go. So there's a farmer saying that actually $12 billion isn't even enough. Then Trump wants to give us $2,000 checks. But if the Supreme Court rules against him, apparently he's going to have to refund all those tariffs. So then he won't be able to cut the $2,000 checks. And those would also create inflation. That's what created inflation in the first place, was giving people stimmy checks. It still hasn't started. There it is. They're playing music that's copyrighted. I'm listening to it, though, to make sure I catch it. Just so you know, you're going to catch everything that Trump says. I may or may not butt in. Thanks, Blazing Scar. Appreciate the nice feedback. Happy holidays to you, too. Or we're supposed to say Merry Christmas. Happy holidays is like a foreigner thing to say. Or what do we call them? Dirty foreigners say happy holidays, and Jews say happy holidays, right? We're supposed to be good people and say Merry Christmas. Thanks, Blazing Scar. Good to see you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the nice feedback. We've been getting a few more people tuned in too, which is good. So the consistency is kind of working a little bit. When we talk about Candace Owens, we get people tuned in. We'll see how it goes. AI news, maybe I'll save for tomorrow. Here's InfoWars. This is this pollster I like from Rasmussen talking about what the polls say. He's doing okay. His approval rating actually went up a little overall. It's young people where he's getting hurt the worst. Here's a pollster talking to InfoWars about it.
Yeah, I've been saying for a lot of the last couple months, well, Trump's approval rating isn't that bad. It'll probably recover. And yet now I'm staring at a -12 net approval, and I'm not so sure anymore. I'm really not. Now, he hit this low in his first term a couple of times. He actually got down to a 38% approval rating, but it was when they were throwing Russian collusion at him 24/7 on MSNBC, and everybody was tuning in to Rachel Maddow, and everybody literally thought that Donald Trump was a Russian asset and they were going to pull him from the presidency. And that, went away after about 6 or 7 months. People realized, well, it's kind of a hoax, and Donald Trump was starting to accomplish real things. The economy was starting to turn around. His approval rating recovered, and the last time it got to -12 was in May and June of 2020. Well, when was that? It was a few months into COVID. People weren't really happy with what was going on. And the Summer of Love, George Floyd riots, and in my opinion, probably a couple of optics that Donald Trump could have done better at back then. So this is not good. This is like he got way more votes. He had the right platform this time. He essentially got a mandate. Why are we looking at a -12 Trump approval rating? Now, I mean, there is some good news. We just did a generic ballot poll. Democrats are only up 3 points. You'd probably like to see Republicans winning, but history tells us they're not going to. And the fact that it's not a blue wave is probably a really good sign. But the really most troubling thing is that Donald Trump, sequentially, we watched it happen. First, he lost his crossover Democrat supporters. Then around Epstein and bombing Iran, he lost his independents. He got down to a -22% independent approval rating. That's where he's at today. And most recently, over the last couple of weeks, he started to lose some of the Republican support. So Republicans had given him approval rating in the 80s with a strong approval rating of over 60% for most of this term. Well, his strong approval hit 53%, I think, 2 days ago, and his overall Republican approval is in the high 70s. And his right direction polling for Republicans is now in the mid 60s when it was lower 70s for most of the term. One of the things I tweeted is that America is not the same America it was 10 years ago. And we really need a wartime president right now. We really need somebody laser focused on the core problems facing America. And I look at what he says and I wonder if he even really understands what they are.
Tell me about it. He does not want to say things aren't going well. That's all. It's just not his nature to say that things aren't good and he's president. It's just not like him. He refuses to do it. So I'm really curious about what his messaging is going to be today. He likes to say everything's great. Like I said, on the economy, he gives himself an A++++, which I think many people would disagree with. Susie Wiles She's apparently the most powerful woman in America. I've heard some news that maybe he's going to get rid of her, but here's Susie Wiles saying what Trump's going to do. Trump calls her the most powerful person in the world, according to this tweeter.
He's going to have a fun next year, but we're going to put him on the campaign trail too. Typically, just a little bit of campaign speak, if I may.
Yeah.
Typically, in the midterms, it's not about who's sitting at the White House. It's you localize the election,
Right.
and you keep the federal officials out of it. We're actually going to turn that on its head.
Good.
And put him on the ballot, because so many of those low propensity voters are Trump voters.
Yes, they are.
And we saw a week ago Tuesday what happens when he's not on the ballot and not active. So I haven't quite broken it to him yet, but he's going to campaign like it's 2024 again.
Oh.
For all these people that he helps. He doesn't help everybody,
Mhm.
but for those he does, he's a difference maker, and he's certainly a turnout machine. So the midterms will be very important to us. He'll work very hard to keep the majority.
Yeah,
in the Senate.
we can't afford to have this
Cannot.
stalled.
No.
And one of the things I keep telling people, and I'm sure we're going to talk politics. I got to talk this. I am so frustrated with all of the people that gave abundantly to organizations like ours and others over the last 4 years to make sure that we won. And our objective was threefold. We didn't just want the presidency. We wanted the House, we wanted the Senate. And we were very strategic on where we went, how we focused to get those moms out. And now it's like they're all sitting on their laurels and going, oh, we're good. I'm like, I don't think you realize how good we aren't. Yeah. And this with swipe of a pen and one election can change everything.
And the majorities in both houses.
Yes.
Right.
They are.
This is a good Senate year for Republicans. Every 2 years is what it is for House members. So there's candidate recruitment. The president started raising money for the midterms the day after the election. Good. And he's sitting on a huge war chest to help these people. And he'll use it, and he'll use himself, and he'll use his money that he's raised, probably his money too. And nobody can outwork him. So there's every reason to be confident, but we have to actually get it done.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's the strategy, is he's going to be on tour. So tonight's speech is really important to set the standard for how it's going to go. He's been a little sleepy lately. He's been a little rambly lately. He's been a little like military focused lately. He's been kind of cruel lately with his attacks on like Somalis, for example. This performative cruelty we talked about. So it's very important how this speech goes, because it will set the tone for whatever he's going to be doing next year, which Susie Wiles claims is that he's going to be on tour all year, campaigning for people. And actually, are people going to want to campaign for him? Because people are now the Democrats have clipped him saying that affordability is a Democrat hoax, that affordability is a scam. And they're going to use that against every Republican running for the House. So it is good news for Republicans that the generic ballot is only 3 points now. It was something like 14 points just about a month ago. So it sounds like it's closer. Democrats don't have any good answers for sure. So, but people blame whoever's in power when things aren't going well. Here's Brooke Rollins, his agriculture secretary, blaming Biden for the cost of fertilizer, which farmers say is up because of tariffs.
This country and our farm economy is facing a crisis that we inherited that most of these farmers have not seen in their lifetime. Profitability is down. It's just one crisis after another. When we came into office, sir, when you did and you were sworn in on January the 20th, as you mentioned, not one new trade deal had been struck in 4 years. The cost of inputs for our farmers fertilizer up 36%, manual labor up 47%, interest rates up 73%. When you combine the cost of inputs for our farmers married to no new trade deals, and then you're facing an administration whose priorities were DEI, climate change, putting the farmer aside. I mean, it was an absolute war on agriculture and on our rural communities. That all changed on January 20th. So as, sir, we are working, and you have been just so resolute. I mean, these are our people. Rural America is the fabric of our country. This is the way of life that preserves the American dream for the next 250 years as we celebrate the first 250 years.
That's right. Next year is our big 250. We'll have to get the commemorative coins. What else do I have about Trump? All right, we already played that. Oh yeah, there's Laura Ingraham. Trump takes tariff money from abroad and puts 12 billion of it into American agriculture. That's how you put farmers first, Laura Ingraham says. And that actually got community noted, which says tariffs are duties imposed on imported good, which importers typically pass on to buyers through higher prices on items like clothing, electronics, and food. This makes tariffs function like a consumption tax, as they effectively tax spending rather than income. That's funny. I don't know how they let him get away with saying we're collecting tax from other countries. Okay, I can get that off my list. We're getting through some bookmarks. Manufacturing is down. There's a chart of manufacturing, which is supposed to come back because of tariffs. It's not. If it does come back, it'll be automated. They'll bring back chip things and they'll make them automated probably. It's the only way we can produce at a competitive rate because our labor rate is high here compared to somewhere like China, which is going fully automated too. Manufacturing employment has fallen in 25 of the last 35 months. Layoffs are said to surpass Great Recession levels, on track to be the worst since the Great Depression. The Bureau of Labor Statistics won't publish inflation information. He's still not live, by the way. I'm listening to it. We're gonna get him. He's gonna be on. He's really late. I've been live for an hour. He was supposed to be live 37 minutes ago. We'll be here. Trust me. You count on this show to give you, I'll give it to you. I'll save some of this stuff for tomorrow. Okay, I think that's all I have on the economy. I'm going to play you some other stuff. This guy, James Fishback in Florida, is interesting. Do you want to hear from Tom Cotton on the boats? I think we've talked a lot about the boats, so we'll get those off the docket. Tucker says he's buying a place in Qatar. Let me just get some of these cleared out of my bookmarks so we cover the news. Tucker says he's buying a place in Qatar. People hate him for that.
Last question. I've been personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar. Both because I am
pay a high check
in Doha, yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man. and I'll be wherever I want to be. Last question.
I don't know why he's buying a place cutter. Kind of does help with his critics. But Trump loves Cutter. Trump loves Cutter. So let's see what I should save for tomorrow. There's more video of the Cinnabon girl. We have some AI news. The government signed up to use AI. They're using Google's AI for the military. I'll play this regarding the boats.
Do you support this pardon of the former Honduran president?
I'm not familiar with the facts or circumstances, but I think what's telling here is to try to imply that somehow President Trump is soft on drug smuggling is just ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. He's provided border security like we've never seen before. And the fact is, these cartels now, because the southern border is closed, they've gone to the high seas. So President Trump is acting with his core Article 2 powers. No serious legal expert would doubt that the president has authority to blow narco terrorists out of the water who are poisoning 100,000 Americans every year. If you watched the SEC championship game yesterday, the Big Ten championship game, combine those two stadiums with the number of people there, that's how many people are dying each and every year from the poison that's coming from these narco terrorists. So the fact is, George.
Sorry. Here we go.
You cannot be standing in an aisle. You must have a seat or standing on the walls. Thank you very much.
Oops. Can't play the music. It's happening. So you see, I'm tuned in. I'm listening. This is regarding the boats.
Trump has been delegated the authority by Congress to designate terrorist organizations. He's done.
Many legal scholars doubt, many serious legal scholars doubt the legality of the boat strikes. He's like, no serious ones? No, lots of serious ones. The most serious ones.
That he sent a letter to Congress saying he was going to initiate these strikes. We've had regular briefings about it, including from Secretary of State Rubio, including from other high-ranking officials in the Department of Defense. He's executing those. And so now what we have now are Democrats who have such X-ray vision and clairvoyance that they know the intentions of narco-terrorists on boats, yet we're so blind to see that they had a president for 4 years that was operating as a vegetable in Joe Biden. So, you know, forgive me if I'm a little skeptical that this isn't all about politics and trying to take out Secretary Hegseth. That's what this whole thing's been about, George. They didn't want him confirmed. They didn't want a realist in place. They didn't want to shift from their pet projects around the world and trying to build democracies in the sands of the Middle East by the barrel of a gun. We have core national interests at stake, the homeland in the Western Hemisphere, and the rise of China. That's what this administration is focused on. The Democrats are just upset about that, and they try to create some controversy each and every week, and it goes nowhere.
What do you mean you're not familiar with the facts and circumstances of the pardon? It's been well reported all across the country. He's the former president of Honduras. He was convicted of conspiring to bring in 400 tons of cocaine into the United States, also guns and other materials. It's been front page news across the country. Aren't you curious about that?
Well, I'm curious about your pushback on that particular point. With your previous guest, you had zero pushback because he's giving the Democrat talking points like you spew every single week, which is probably why your ratings are so bad. But to make the point, what I'm saying is that you're trying to divert here the attention from what the American people actually support.
These people are crazy. Like, oh yeah, the new strategy is just to insult the person asking questions. You're on his show. If he has bad ratings, why did you go on his show? And he's like, oh, I don't know about the pardon. I don't know how he pardoned a convicted cocaine smuggler. Never heard of it. Like, really? You haven't heard of it? Stephanopoulos, who is a Democrat operative. I mean, fair enough. That's a fair question. If he cares so much about cocaine, which is primarily what they're blowing up, theoretically, allegedly, then why did he pardon a guy who's convicted of smuggling in 400 tons of cocaine? It's like, oh, you're just trying to change the subject. People support blowing up boats. maybe people support it. I'm not even denying that. I see it all over the place. People are like, I don't give a shit. Let's just blow those fuckers up. It's like, fine. But it's not legal. It's not moral. Fine. You might also support deporting American citizens because they're from other countries. Like, you still can't do it. You're not allowed to kill people for crimes. You're just not allowed to by any law, American law. Crazy. But they've all learned from Trump. It's like, oh, just insult the reporter. He was asked about, the boat thing. Maybe I'll save some of the boat stuff for tomorrow. I get rid of that. I get rid of this. People are talking about silver in the chat. Silver is pumping. There are some people who say it's going to break the exchanges. I heard some guys say it's literally about to totally, that the silver derivatives market is about to explode because there's way more demand than we dig up every year. So it might be true. I right now I'm into gold more because I'm a little more in a monk mode of trying to preserve what I have. Gold hasn't been doing as well. Silver is doing amazing. It could be a sign of collapse. I think gold will still be good. You want to hear about directed energy weapons? I take that off. I can play that. We'll play about directed energy weapons.
These are your brain scans that you shared with our team. The red flags abnormalities. Some parts of your brain are very small and some parts are enlarged. When you saw these brain scans, did they validate the suffering you're experiencing?
It does explain some of my day-to-day confusion, yes. I saw a diagnosis on my latest MRI. It's where you get holes in your brain where it usually happens to premature infants, but you don't get it as an adult unless you had a stroke or you were in a coma or something.
Apparently she blames directed energy weapons for it. Doesn't mention it in that clip. It was revealed that I'll play that tomorrow. AI. Okay, we played this. We can get rid of that. All right, we'll talk about the militarization of everything. Somebody is pointing out that this year we're preparing children to like war more because Santa shows up in an armored vehicle and elves are soldiers coming down the wall. So let's look at this video.
Left.
If there's evidence.
Hopefully, it's not that 3-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce. No, it's not that Grinchy character. It's Santa!
And it is military soldiers with the elves rappelling down the wall. As you can see. And there's Santa in an armored vehicle.
next year will fake an illness.
So they say they're preparing us for war. Entirely possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to enjoy our musical entertainment, courtesy of the United States Navy Band. Have a wonderful holiday season.
There you go. So that's your Gen X girls claiming this is how psychopaths condition the public for war. If you don't believe that one, listen to this story that Melania is reading about how Santa is wearing night vision and heat-seeking goggles. Here, listen to this.
Santa see in the dark? Does he wear night vision goggles that make everything green? I bet he'd like that because Santa likes green. Or heat vision goggles because he might like red better. Should we leave out carrots, not cookies, on Christmas Eve, since they're good for his eyesight? No, the twinkling lights on the tree will make enough light for Santa to see, tiptoeing past chairs without bumping his knee, to leave a present or 2 or 3 and get a kiss from the dog, if it's a dog that licks, and take a cookie or 2 or 3 and then leave.
Anyway, Gen X girl on Twitter says, but they're militarizing us. I don't know. Maybe. All right. Let's see. Okay, we're doing good. We're getting rid of some stuff. Maybe we'll clip some shorts. All right. So Brooke Rollins, Golden Age. Did I play that one for you? Yes, I think so. We have some healthcare stuff. We have Crockett running for Senate. We have Trump on Hot Mic lashing out at his own party, saying he can't appoint anybody. I'll play that for you. I don't need to save that one.
Hey, Jeff, you know I cannot appoint anybody. Huh? I can't appoint anybody. Everybody I'm appointed, their time is expired. And then they're in the fall.
So that was Trump on Hot Mic saying he's really upset that he can't appoint anybody because of something called blue slips. Glenn Beck interviewed an AI George Washington. I'll play that tomorrow. Oh, we'll play you some Nick Fuentes. I think he thinks his interview on Piers Morgan went really well. I didn't think so. He says he made a good point saying he loves Hitler. Like he refused to back down on a number of issues that I don't think actually probably made him look that good. I don't know, though. I'm not a groper officially. But Piers Morgan interviewed him. This was the clip that people are sharing.
Just to clear up one of the many theories about you, I've no idea what the answer is and you haven't got to answer. But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay?
No. But I will say.
I don't know. The way he answered that question, his eyes darted to the side. And then he said no. You see that? And then he immediately said, like, I'm not convinced. I'm still not convinced about his sexuality, which I don't have a problem with. As long as he's not attacking gays, then it's okay if he's gay. I just want him to be happy.
Just to clear up one of the many theories about you, I've no idea what the answer is.
He doesn't answer the question right away.
But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay?
No.
You see
But
that
I
how
will
his
say-
eyes like dart to the side for a second? He like looks right. I don't know body language. But why isn't he like no? And why does he have to think about it?
No. But women.
You're not gay.
No. But I will say that women are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So there's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
I do not. No, absolutely not.
They should stay at home?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
See, basically, you're just a misogynist old dinosaur, aren't you? For a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm the boomer. I know I'm the boomer here, but actually, you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Aren't you, Nick Fuentes? All women.
I am.
All women are annoying. All women grow
fossil.
old. They all get fat. Says the guy. Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Says the guy who's never got laid.
There you go. That was his gotcha. Wayne Hammer says, "Who even cares?" Yeah, I don't care. I still like Nick Fuentes. I think it'd be fine if he's gay. He's not planning to. And he's a volcel, not an incel. Yeah, Adam Filmgrain. He's voluntarily celibate, waiting until he gets married. He has great pets. Super chatting him, asking to be his girlfriend. I'm sure he gets plenty of DMs from girls. He said that. So he's not involuntarily celibate because he could. He has groupies, which, I mean, of course. So he's not officially an incel, like many of his followers may be. He hasn't had sex. I believe that. Should we talk about? There's an AI advertisement that people are upset about from McDonald's. Let's see. Okay. Just deciding what to cover today and what to cover tomorrow. We're still waiting. They're still playing. Now they're playing Rolling Stones. The camera angle changed. Here's the thing. Trump still isn't talking. We're waiting. Can't play music. Not Me says at least Tim's criticism of Candace was more rational than Tim's. Yeah, absolutely. His criticism of Ian Carroll was especially on point. And he takes heat for it too. People are like, oh, he got the call. But I think his criticism of Candace and Ian Carroll is super fair. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, I'll give you the news about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's making the tour. She just did 60 Minutes talking shit about Trump. The next day, she's on CNN talking shit about Trump. Trump's talking shit about her. It's just like it's crazy back and forth. Just decide what to play to you guys. Oh, here we go. This is what Marjorie was saying on 60 Minutes.
We did talk about the Epstein files, and he was extremely angry at me that I had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people. I had asked him, these women are the ones that were hurt. They were raped at 14. They were raped at 16. I watched them stand in front of the press trembling, their bodies shaking as they were telling their stories, many of them for the first time. And I had told him, I said, you know, you have all kinds of people come in the White House. Have these women come in the White House. These women deserve to be heard.
He said to you, people will get hurt.
People will get hurt. I don't know what that means. I don't know who they are. We did
There you
talk.
go. He means rich guys who are associated with Epstein are going to get hurt, which is true. Rich guys that maybe didn't do anything. That's what he's worried about. But also rich guys that did do something. He's probably also worried about that. Oh, here we go. Here we go, niggas.
Free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every
You want me to heckle him or what? How much input do you guys want? I don't want to talk over. I don't want to over talk. Red tie. White people behind him.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Bigger paycheck. That's what the song says. Bigger paycheck.
Who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today.
Mostly men behind him. Just looking at the picture they want to show. A lot of times they stack it with like blacks and stuff. All white people, mostly men. Nobody wearing MAGA hat. Oh, there's some MAGA hat.
Well, this is a nice crowd. You got a lot of people. You've got a lot of people standing outside tonight. It's freezing. They got here yesterday like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Well, I'm worried about them. Would anybody like to give up your place? Let some people come in from the cold. You go out to the cold. I don't think so. I just want to say hello, Pennsylvania, and I'm thrilled to be back. It is incredible Commonwealth with so many proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. So am I. I'm a proud hard worker. I'm a proud patriot, but you're a proud patriot. Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great reception. You know, we're on to expose what happened recently when we took over. You know, it's 10 months, and already we have the largest investment ever made in the history of not our country, of any country anywhere in the world. Think of that.
Who's talking about Pittsburgh?
But let me begin by wishing each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that stuff.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Remember when I started in 2015, I made my first speech, and I said, we're going to bring back Christmas. Remember, the radical left wanted to get rid of the word Christmas. I said, I don't think that's going to work out. And we did it, and now everybody's saying Merry Christmas again. But just over 1 year ago today, with your help, we saved America. That's what happened. We saved it. In the most important election victory possibly in the history of our country was going down. We were a country that was being scoffed at, laughed at all over the world. We won all 7. Thank you, Charlie. She said, and you saved us. Who are you? Stand up, please. Who said that?
She said, you saved us.
I love her. Only in Pennsylvania can this happen. I know the state. By the way, last election, did we kick ass?
Are you bringing up old shit?
We won. That means we won 3 times in a row, as you know. But we won all 7 swing states. We won the Electoral College, 312 to 226. We won, and by the way, the real vote was much more than this, but we wanted to make it too big to rig. We won the popular vote for the first time of any Republican in many decades, and we won 86% of all counties in America, 2,700 to 525. That's good. We did it. Not me, we did it. And now, after just 10 months in office, I'm pleased to report that America is winning again. Pennsylvania is prospering again. And I will not rest until this Commonwealth is wealthier and stronger than ever before. Remember when Biden got up and called you a state? That was not good. He said, it's great to be back in this state. Oh, where are we? Where are we? What state is it? It's Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. No, we're respected again as a country. We're respected. Since my inauguration, we've created nearly 60,000 new Pennsylvania jobs, including 4,000 Pennsylvania manufacturing jobs that the Democrats gave up on. You're doing better than you've ever done. Under our leadership, more than 40,000 Pennsylvanians have been lifted off of food stamps, 40,000. And working with a great guy, remember David McCormick? He used to go to every rally I had, he knew what was happening. And he's here again, as usual. I can't get rid of this guy. Where is he? He got a little lucky, though. You know, in Butler, a place called Butler, Pennsylvania. I love Butler, Pennsylvania, but
Fake
it's amazing.
assassination
And we had a
attempt?
tremendous
What do you
crowd.
think? Hot take.
55, 60,000 people. Then I called David. I said, David, come on up. He was working like hell to get elected. It was a tough race. And very few people could have done what he did. But I said, right at the beginning of the speech, I said, David, come on up. Come on up. This was before the thing happened. And then I looked up and I said, you know what, David, just stay there. I'll get you later. You're so lucky, David. You're so lucky. You don't know. I could have had a little differently shaped ear.
Somebody died.
If it weren't for
It's
you.
not that
You know,
funny.
you got very lucky that day. People don't talk about that, but I remember I called him up and I said, just stay there. Because he was walking a little bit slowly. I didn't want to take the time.
Did help him win the election.
Oh, boy,
That'd
that
be
was a good day for you.
attempt.
What a job he did. He's really a great guy. And his
I think
wife,
Elon
Tina,
endorsed
is
him the next
fantastic.
day.
Thank you. Stand up, brother. He's a lucky man. Working with Senator David McCormick, we've secured commitments for nearly $100 billion of investments in Pennsylvania. We were up here a few months ago. Some of the greatest energy companies in the world made that. We were doing it on a beautiful day, a little warmer than it is outside today, David. But over $100 billion, and we've saved a great American company. You know, we saved, this little group of people and me, saved a little company called U.S. Steel, and it's hot as a pistol now. And we have the keys to the company. It's always going to be here. It's never moving. They said, what happens if it moves to Japan? I said, you can't move a steel mill to Japan. You can move a headquarters, but the steel mill stays here. That's all that matters. And I will tell you, the company is spending billions and billions of dollars, and there was no second by comparison. Other companies were interested, and they really are. They call me all the time, tell me they're really excited about it. And, you know, they're building a lot of additional plants.
I won't highlight that.
It's turning out to be beyond what anyone thought possible, but we had to save U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel was one of the greatest companies, which really, for a long period of time,
It's
years
on the
ago, the
screen
greatest company anywhere in the world. U.S. Steel was, you see it with the big factories that were, 2 years ago. Now it's starting to fill up. The tariffs have filled it up because people are coming here. Other steel companies are coming to Pennsylvania now because they don't want to spend 100%, 50%, 25% on tariffs. They're all coming in. It's amazing. You know, the word, remember when I said tariff? My favorite word is tariff. True. But then I got a lot of heat from the fake news. Look at all of them back there. I took a lot of heat. I got up early on. I said my favorite. It's turning out, tariffs are bringing us hundreds of billions of dollars. I just helped our farmers out because they're starting to do really well. But in order to try and negotiate, some countries played a little cute, and we just gave them right out of a tariff money. Cost us nothing. Right out of the hundreds of billions that we've taken in. We gave the farmers a little help, $12 billion, and they are so happy. And all they want is a level playing field. And now it's happening. And the tariffs are making them rich. It's going to be, you're going to see what happens over the next 2 years.
The tariffs are
it's like a
making
miracle
them
is
rich.
taking place. But we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, really trillions. Scott, we have the great Scott Bassett. Scott, stand up.
Oh, I forgot the big line. The 21 trillion.
And if you add to that all of the companies that are pouring their money to building plants in Pennsylvania and many other states, auto plants, AI plants, plants of every type, which we would have never had if we didn't put the tariffs on. Did you see where Europe now is saying, I think we got to start doing what Trump is doing. We've got to start putting on tariffs because we're getting our asses kicked. And it's true. But Scott, if you really think about it, it's trillions of dollars, not billions of dollars, right? So it's amazing. It's the smart people understand it. Other people are starting to learn, but the smart people really understand it. 1 year ago, under Sleepy Joe Biden, have you heard of him? Okay, look. The king of Saudi Arabia told me this. He said, sir, 1 year ago, I was in Saudi Arabia. Somebody complained that I was making a foreign trip. I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. I brought back $4 trillion. They said, he shouldn't be traveling. He should focus on home. What the hell do you think I'm doing? And 250 Boeing jets. I brought back so much everything. Then they say, he should, the stupid people, they say, he should be leaving our country. Yeah, let's sit around and twiddle our thumbs. It's sort of crazy, right? But 1 year ago, the king of Saudi Arabia said it. He said, sir, 1 year ago, you were a dead country, dead. They were focusing on China. They were looking for, who's next on line, frankly. And he's a good man. And the emir of Qatar said it. UAE said it. The big company, the big smart country said it. Great. We were a dead country 1 year ago. We were dead as a doornail. We were going down the tubes. And now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. Sure.
I'm sure everybody appreciates the Middle Eastern dictators. I think America's doing great.
And it's because of the election on November 5th, because that's when it started. You see what's happening with recruitment in the military. The enrollment is the highest we've ever had. And, right before November 5th, we couldn't get anybody in the military. We couldn't get police. We couldn't get firemen. We couldn't get anybody. And after November 5th, that's when it started. Right now, we have the highest enrollment we've ever had, the greatest recruitment days we've ever had in the military. It's
Let's get
amazing.
to it.
So it's November 5th, and it's also, again, it's a thing called tariffs. And I told you, I was about to say that, because I love the weave. You know what the weave is? Go here,
great.
bing, 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 bing. You always have to get
Awesome,
back to
dude.
the right location.
You're doing it perfect.
But otherwise, they'll criticize you for straying from the speech. By the way, if I read what's on the teleprompter, you'd all be falling asleep right now. But it's true. 1 year ago, and during periods of time, I'd say my favorite word is the word tariff. I love it more than any other word in the dictionary. And the fake news said, that's terrible. What about God? What about family? What about religion? What about your sons, your daughters? What about how terrible that's just. So I moved it back to fifth. I have it to fifth. And now I'm in no trouble with the fake news, They say, what about religion? They always find, so you have to weave a little bit with the punches. You have to go, the boxers, you got to go with the punches.
I have no
But
idea.
it's been amazing what's happened. It's been amazing. It's a
See if we can follow
transformation
him.
of our country. I have the greatest
What is
oil
he gonna
man
do?
anywhere in the world. I see him sitting right there, Chris Wright.
He's going to brag about how great things are. Is that going to be the whole speech? Or?
I was going to put a man, Doug Burgum. He's great. He's interior. And I said, Doug, I want you to go to Energy. You're really fantastic at Energy. Came from North Dakota. Big fracking place. He done really a great job. He was a great governor, I would say, right? Really great. And a great person. He's doing a fantastic job. I said, I want you to head up Energy, sir. I'd be good, but I'll tell you, there's one man out there in the whole world. There's one man out there who would be better than me. Who is it? A man named Chris Wright. Who the hell is Chris Wright? Give me a break. I never heard of the guy. Well, you never heard. He's the biggest there is. He's the smartest there is. The greatest oil man in the world. Chris Wright. I said, I got to see this guy. And after about 2 minutes, I understood exactly what Doug was saying. So I said, okay, Doug, you'll go to Interior. You work with, because interestingly, Interior owns all the land that has the oil. And he has all the expertise that drills the oil. And I said, we'll do a friendly merger here. This is pretty good. And that's what we did. And we're right now drilling more oil than we've ever done ever before. Prices are way down. We just had 4 states. It was just reported that 4 states had $1.99 a gallon. Right? We're so moving.
Gas is getting cheaper.
So I want to introduce Chris Wright. Stand up, Chris. Who would think, you look at him, he's a nice looking guy and all that. Who would think he's rated, he's the most talented oil guy. He can put his nose on the ground and tell you whether or not there's oil. Other people have to spend billions of dollars on machinery and equipment, and it doesn't work. So I want to thank you. You're doing a great job. And is it true? We are right now, energy overall, not only the oil and gas, we are right now involved in more energy and have more energy in the works by far than we've ever had before. Is that right? Yeah.
For data center.
Not even close. Yeah. And I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again,
here we go.
They caused the high prices and we're bringing them down. It's a simple message.
There you go. That's good.
If I had one message tonight, this is being covered like all over the world. This is crazy because I haven't made a speech in a little while. When you win, you say, oh, I can now rest. So Susie Trump, do you know Susie Trump? Sometimes referred to as Susie Wiles. Susie Trump. She's the great chief of staff at the. They don't use the word chief of staff anymore because of the Indians got extremely upset. But now the Indians actually want their name used, which is true. They never didn't want it used. But the chief of staff, and she's fantastic. She said, we have to start campaigning, sir. I said, I won. What do I have to do already? They said, we have to win the midterms, and you're the guy that's going to take us over the midterm. Where's Susie? Susie, come on, Susie. Look at Susie. Susie's the greatest. And who do we see there? We even brought our superstar today, Caroline. Stand up, Caroline. Isn't she great? Is Caroline great? You know, when she goes on television, Fox, like, I mean, they dominate. They dominate when she gets up there with that beautiful face and those lips that don't stop, up, like a little machine gun. She's got no fear. You know why she has no fear? Because we have the right policy. We don't have men in women's sports. We don't have to sell men in women's sports. We don't have to sell transgender to everybody. We don't have to sell open borders where the whole world is allowed to come into our country from prisons and everywhere else. So she's got a little bit easier job. I wouldn't want to be the other side's press secretary, right? Thanks, Carolyn. Great job. We appreciate it.
Who's Caroline? Is she talking about?
That's our message. They gave you high prices. They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages. I mean, the only thing that's really going up big, it's called the stock market and your 401ks. That's going up.
Thank you.
But I say it, you know, and I said it the other day, and a lot of people misinterpret it. They say, oh, he doesn't realize prices are high. Prices are coming down very substantially.
They're not.
But they have a new word. You know, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability. So they look at the camera and they say, this election is all about affordability. Now, they never talk about it. They never talk. Thank you very much. They say I'm not allowed to run. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but that's okay. He said 4 more years. You see the new hat? We have 4 more years. 2028. We have all sorts of. Well, you know what? We have 3 years and 2 months to go. And you know what that is in Trump time? 3 years and 2 months is called eternity. We have a long time. We have a long time. But under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000 a year. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has already seen their wages increase by more than $1,300, and that's in just a few months. And for construction workers, it's $1,800 up versus $3,500 down, and I think their number is wrong. It's much lower than that. For miners, do we love miners? I love miners.
Children?
I don't know how they do it, going 10,000 feet under the ground, and they wouldn't trade jobs with me. If I gave them a beautiful, magnificent penthouse in the middle of Manhattan, where I used to live, if I gave them the most beautiful penthouse, they wouldn't take it. They'd rather go 10,000 feet underground and dig. That's what they want. For miners, their wages went up $3,300, and we're bringing back coal. But my administration cannot talk about anything else except when they say the word coal, they have to precede the word by 2 words, clean, beautiful. So we only call coal clean, beautiful coal. Is that right, fellas? Because coal needs a little public relations help. It's a very powerful fuel. It's used by China. You know, China makes all our windmills, but they don't have any wind farms. It's a little interesting, isn't it? Wind is the worst. That's a scam. They ruin your valleys. They ruin your peaks. The most expensive energy. The only ones that get rich are the developers who make a fortune. You have to change your windmills. And most of them are made in China, but China has very few wind farms. You know why? Because they're smart. You know what they do have? A lot of coal. They love coal. So that's okay. But we have clean, beautiful coal. and we brought it back into vogue. We have nuclear,
Or
we
if
have
you just
oil
wanna
and gas.
brag.
We have sort of everything. We don't approve windmills. We don't approve it. I'm sorry. We don't like things that kill all our birds. And that every time you put one up, only the guy that owns it makes a lot of money. Those guys, what a joke. And they are ugly. You're right, sir. But Democrats talking about affordability is like Bonnie and Clyde preaching about public safety. And they are really truly the enemy of the working class when they do it, because we're going to have a great energy policy. You know, our oil prices are coming down very substantial, energy prices. And honestly, with that, everything comes down, because there's nothing nearly in the category of oil. You wouldn't even know what second is. There are seconds and thirds, but it's so far down the list we don't even talk about them. You get energy prices down, which we're doing. Again,
Why is everything else up?
the greatest amount
energy
of
prices are
drilling,
down.
the greatest amount of fuel being produced right now in our country than ever before, by far. It's not even a contest. And when that happens, those prices come down. That's why you're seeing oil per barrel coming down nicely, very nicely. We don't want to go so rapidly because we want the people that produce it to keep producing it, but they're doing good. But it's amazing. But when energy comes down, your
Oil's
other
almost at
prices come
break
down
even.
too, all of your prices. And that's exactly, we inherited the highest prices ever, and we're bringing them down. We
They're higher
inherited the
now.
worst inflation in the history of our country. Think of that. And we're bringing them down rapidly. Their entire agenda is about robbing working people to fund their far left cronies and give lavish benefits to foreign migrants and illegal aliens. You can't do it. Look, we all have a heart. We don't like what's happening. But, you know, when they allow them to come in, we have a border that, by the way, they don't talk about the border. Why don't you talk about the border anymore? The border is, for months, it's closed. Actually, their people, because they're radical left, their people, radical left, they rate the border and everything. You know how many people came into the border over the last 7 months? You know what it is? Zero. Except for the ones that came in legally, right? Legally. When Biden and congressional Democrats had power, they blew up our economy, sent prices soaring. Look, the poor guy, he didn't know what the hell was happening. Okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't him. It was the lunatics that circled. Yeah, it was the auto pen. You're right. I can't believe I didn't say that. I hate when you beat me to the punchline. I would not have. Well, I'll tell you, I'll give the fake news a little breaking news. So I believe, and I may be correct, but we're checking this. We have a bad head of the Fed. We're going to be making a change. Fortunately, this guy's out. But we have 4 members appointed by Sleepy Joe Biden. Which is better, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? Historically, when I've done polls,
Sleepy.
from people, I do my own polls. I go to a big arena. We have 20,000 people. I say, which you like, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? And I save millions of dollars. I don't have to do any polling, okay? Typically, Crooked Joe wins. I'm surprised. Because to me, he's a sleepy son of a bitch, who destroyed our country. If we didn't come along, and it's not me, it's all of us. If we didn't come along, this country was destroyed. I'll tell you, it would have been destroyed. But now Democrats in Congress want to take us straight back to the Bidenomics. They don't change. And I don't really talk about it because, for instance, I watched a congressman the other day on a television show. They were interviewing a Democrat. He was fighting like hell for men to play in women's sports, okay? And I was going to put something out. I was going to he's a well-known congressman. And I said, let's save it about 2 weeks before the election. Right, David? We don't want to do it now. What the hell good does it do now? Let's save it for about 2 weeks because we don't want them to change. Just let them keep going. I think transgender for all is a great, great thing for the Democrats to be talking about. transgender, for every member in your family, if they're not feeling well that night, let's just change their sex. No, let's not talk about it. Let them go and let them fight to get these things. I think open borders are great, you know, where prisons are emptied into our country, right? Where people from all over the world being dumped into our country, the people that aren't wanted in their countries, by the way.
I wonder what it says
I think
on the
that's a great,
teleprompter.
like Somalia. Welcome. Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military. They have no nothing. They have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother.
It's good, red meat.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain. So now, and we have our savior in this room. His name is Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent. He's right there. Because that very handsome man, by the way, if you're picking the Secretary of the Treasury, is he like the perfect guy for a movie? He's made for the movie. Stand up, Scott. Look at him. No, he's central casting. He's central casting. But you don't, under that beautiful exterior is a killer. And here's what happened. He is in charge of the investigation of Somalia and the billions of dollars they have robbed from Minnesota, right? I hope you do your job. I hope you're not one of these Republicans where something comes up and they don't do what they should do because they're nicer people. You know, they're much nicer people than the Democrats, but Scott's actually not a nice person at all. So, Scott, you're in charge of that investigation? Okay, I'm not interfering at all. I'm just saying, please do a good job, honest and fair, right? Honest and fair. Oh, well, if he's honest and fair, you know what he's going to find? It's great. I'd love to have that job. They may switch jobs with you. I'd love to have that job. They're to get him the hell out of here. They hate our country. And she hates our country. And her friends hate our country. And AOC hates our country. They all do. And we have a new candidate in the great state of Texas, where I won Texas by more votes than anybody. And you have to understand, I'm being judged by these bad people back there, the fake news. So anything I say that's slightly off, I get like headlines. Donald Trump exaggerated. Donald Trump lied. They give me Pinocchios, Washington Post, a Pinocchio. They lie every day. They give me a Pinocchio. But think of this. If I make even the slightest mistake, what they do is they go after me.
Is he going to talk about? I wonder if he is.
A new candidate.
I guess he's not going to.
I won Texas by the largest vote in the history of Texas 3 times. Okay, I love Texas.
I guess he's not going to. He's probably not going to mention healthcare.
Just like I love Pennsylvania,
don't
the
think he's gonna
Commonwealth
mention a
of
policy.
Pennsylvania.
So how he's going to bring prices down.
Just like I love, honestly, every one of our states. I love all of our states. And we've done so well. I love all of our states. What? By the way, is this a different country now that we had a year and a half ago? Right? What a difference. Crime is way down, despite the fact that we have many, bad people entered our country. Many of them are being taken out. Ultimately, they're all being taken out. Washington, D.C., we had a tragic incident, as you know, with the two incredible people. What a terrible thing that was just 2 weeks ago, right? Just a terrible National Guard, terrible thing. Sarah and Andrew. Sarah passed away. She's looking at us from heaven, from above, and she was killed almost instantly. They kept her alive. Her parents came from West Virginia, another great state. Her parents are incredible. They couldn't believe it. She was 20 years old, perfect. She was just getting a little promotion. They were so proud of her. She was on her way up, and she was shutting head, the brain, shutting the head. They were able to keep her alive long enough for her parents to come in from West Virginia and say goodbye to her. And Andrew is the second one, who's also from West Virginia National Guard, incredible people. And so they were both from West Virginia. And his mother's named Monica. And Monica's the most positive person I've ever seen. The night that he was so badly hit and the doctors gave him almost no chance, I called their hospital room and spoke to her. And she said, sir, he'll be fine. Oh, no, I'm telling you, I'm praying. The whole country is praying. Sir, I'm telling you, don't worry about it. He's going to be fine. This is the mother talking to me. And the father's like devastated. He's an incredible guy too, both. And I went and invited them to the Oval Office, and they came in. She said, sir, he's fine. It was amazing, actually. And today, Monica, she said, we're all praying, and I'm praying. And then she called to say, sir, he moved his finger today. This is like 3 days later. He moved his finger. And today I got a call that he got up from bed. Do you believe that? He got up. He got up.
Good news.
Now, he didn't speak. He's not ready for that yet. He got hit in the head. But he got up, and boy, they're so happy. It's amazing. And the care that they've given him at the hospital, and the generals that have been there, the military that's been there, it's amazing. General Seward and others that she said the level of love that your military has given to my boy. And by the way, Sarah's parents said the same thing. The love and the affection and the care that they're given, they can't even believe what's happened. But Andrew stood up today, and people even can't believe it. So the mother was amazing, and let's hope it continues. Look, it doesn't get much worse than what he did. Let's hope it continues. But that's an act of terrorism. This is a guy came from Washington, state of Washington, came across the country, and he wanted to kill people with the uniform. A whack job. Isn't it crazy? Think of it. He was also very badly injured. And they're fighting to save his life so that we can give him the death penalty. How crazy is that, right? They're fighting to save his life so that we can give him the death penalty. That's the way it really should work, right? The doctors have to do their job, and then the lawyers have to do their job. But it's an amazing country. Actually, Andrew's father said that. He said, they're fighting for him. I hope they save him, sir, because I hope he has to understand what he did, how bad it is. And he's going to, I think he will be saved, actually. It looks like they will save him. He wasn't as badly hurt as Sarah or Andrew, but isn't it an amazing thing? They're working so hard to save his life, and we're going to put him up for the death penalty. Amazing, huh? Only in America. That's only in America. You know, in one way, there's something beautiful about it. In another way, it's It's a little crazy, right? In my first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. You know that. We had the greatest economy in history, even with the COVID. COVID came and it really hurt the world. It was a gift from China, but China got hurt very badly too. We're getting along with China. They're buying a lot of our soybeans. Keep buying those soybeans there. You know, you heard all about magnets and rare earth. They were great. I met with President Xi. Scott was with me, and we had a whole group. Marco was there. Chris was there. We were all there. And we made incredible deals with China. We're getting along. It's getting along is a good thing. You know, getting along is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a smart thing. And they're buying literally trillions of dollars worth of our products and all of that. And we had a very good meeting. Remember, the whole world was going to shut down over rare earth. That was 2 months ago, and that worked out very well. It all works out well. If you have a smart president, it works out well. If you have a dummy, it doesn't work out. But we had a great economy. We had the greatest economy in our country's history, but we had what's called the greatest economy. This is the first term, probably ever, of any country. Now, in addition to that, we rebuilt our military. We got the biggest tax cuts ever. We got the biggest regulation cuts ever. We had the best job numbers. We had a great first term. Or frankly, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be standing here. Because if I had a bad first term, you know, you might say, I like him. He's really good. But we had a lousy first term. You're not going to vote. You voted for me because we had a great, despite all of the Russia bullshit, despite all of the impeachments.
He's kind of lost
think
the
of it.
crowd a little
The
bit. I noticed.
impeachments, all of the crap we had to go through with these crooked Democrats. They're crooked as you could be. They're bad people. They're sick people. But despite all of that, we had an amazing first term. Our second
All
term
year,
is blowing it
we get
away.
this.
It's blowing it away.
I'm not going to cover it. I
So
can't
we're
do
doing it again, but bigger, better,
We had
and
to cover this
stronger
one.
than ever
See how
before.
it's going to go.
There's more work to do, but today, 22 states, we're setting 22 total. Is that right, Chris? That just came out, that statistic. We're down lower than we've been in 7 years. Gasoline prices and oil prices, not just the 3 states that I
Third
talk
time
about. With
mentioning oil prices.
$1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's
the one price
that's
down.
the equivalent of a very major tax cut. You know, when you get the energy prices down, it's really the equivalent, maybe even in many cases better than a big tax cut, which we gave you. We gave you the biggest tax cut ever in the first term. We then gave you, with the great big beautiful deal, which is phenomenal, we gave you something that's even better than we did. We gave you an extension of the biggest tax cuts and the biggest tax cuts ever, even bigger than the first term. And that's one of the reasons that your 401ks are through the roof. It's one of the reasons that the stock market is at the highest point. So rent prices are down, dairy prices are coming down very strongly.
Rent prices are down.
The cost of Thanksgiving turkeys was down by 33% compared to the Biden era. You know what you did during the Biden era for Thanksgiving? You said, oh my God, this is terrible. It was a rotten Thanksgiving. And Walmart, I thank them. You know, they came out with a big, like sort of a numbers thing, a chart. And they had it 25% less. So that's pretty good. A Thanksgiving meal with all of the trimmings is 25% less under Trump than it was a year ago under Biden. That's a good start. We're bringing it down, and we're coming down more. We're coming down a lot more. Takes a little time to come down. They were ruining. They're going to destroy our country. The cost of a Christmas ham. What? Don't forget who?
Ham
Eggs.
is going to be cheaper. Egg.
I'm getting the eggs. But you're right. Remember with eggs where I had my first news conference. 2 days went by and I had a news conference, right? Unlike Biden, 2 years go by, he still didn't have. Remember? He'd walk off the stage. He's finished with his, sir, you finished with your speech. Now what? You finished what? And then he'd walk into a wall. What he did, and it wasn't him, it was some really smart, radical left lunatics. What they did to our country, we can never forget. We can never forget. But you remember the first eggs? We remember the first 3 days. I just got there. Sure, what? These people, 2 of them are there, right there. look at all those cameras you got. You got a lot of television going. 2 of them were there. And I'm talking about, yes, I look forward to getting involved and doing great things. What about eggs? Eggs are down. As they go, eggs. They said, the price of eggs is quadrupled. I said, oh, I didn't know that. Tell me about it. It's gone up like 4 or 5 times. Remember eggs right at the beginning. He's right when he says eggs. It went up like 4 times. It was like crazy. And they said, sir, don't buy. They came into the Oval Office, sir. You know, we have an Easter egg hunt. It's like a thing for 150 years at the White House. Beautiful. They said, sir, we're going to buy plastic eggs this year. Plastic eggs. We don't have, you know, enough eggs to go around for that. I said, you're going to buy regular eggs. And by the time Easter comes, we're going to have so many eggs, you're not going to know what to do. You're not buying plastic. And we didn't. And Brooke Rollins, our Secretary of Agriculture, did an incredible job. And eggs dropped like a rock. And we ended up buying a lot of eggs for a lot of. But the price of eggs is down now.
That's true.
80% since March. Think of that.
I don't think it's that.
And we have 2 price charts. Do you remember the last time I pointed to a chart? My all-time, I don't care what these charts say. My all-time favorite chart was the chart I had in Butler. I said, let's look at the chart. Ding, ding. I don't care how good that chart looks. It's shit by comparison to the one in Butler. It's nothing.
I eat eggs. I appreciate it.
I like the Butler chart. Remember that was on how
Costco.
great employment was and all
Costco eggs,
this.
you can get 2 dozen.
But I like
like
it for other
$3.
reasons.
I recommend it.
Look at that chart. It's
organic
good. But
for
now I
$8.
talk about the
$8
Butler
$2
chart. I don't even want to look at it.
Good
Doesn't
nutrition.
really-
Eggs,
But look,
eggs. I like
Biden price increases and Trump price increases. Look at Biden. Up
Show me the chart,
37,
please.
24%, 22, 21, 30.7, 30.7 again, 10.4%, 49%.
On what?
Trump, the price is down 5.1, 4.2, 0.5, down 4%, 2 points, 2.9. Look at that. Our
I
prices
wonder what
are
he's
coming
talking
down.
about.
Their
I'd
prices.
like to see the chart.
It's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. And remember, we're going to pass the inflation. And I said, there's nothing to do with inflation reduction there. There's nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with inflation either way, other than raising inflation, perhaps, because it was such a stupid. And then they admitted, they fought it like, oh no, this is inflation. After they got the thing passed, then they said, we agree, it has nothing to do with inflation. Screw you, we don't care. That's what it is. We're dealing with bad people. And the word affordability is the exact same thing. And I can't say affordability hoax because I agree the prices were too high. So I can't go to hoax because they'll misconstrue that. But they use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability. And everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously from the highest prices in the history of our country. And look at that chart. Let's see the next one. You have another one, I think, mortgage rates. Even with a lousy Fed chair. We have a lousy Fed chair. Oh, and by the
Cutting
way,
rates because employment
it looks,
is bad.
you're going to have to check this, please.
Oh, good.
I just heard it could be that all 4 commissioners in the Fed signed by Biden, including Too Late. You know who Too Late is? Too Late, pal.
Rates are
Jerome
down
Too Late.
because
He's
the
too late with
economy's
his
bad.
interest rates for a reason. He's a bad guy. He's not a smart guy, but he's a bad guy. Too Late. Is he going to lower rates a little bit finally? Did you see where Jamie Dimon, respected guy, said, you got to get the rates down, you schmuck, you know? But I hear that the auto pen may have signed those commissions. If they signed those commissions, now maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to check. Have you checked that? Are you hearing it? Who signed it? Did he sign it or did the auto pen sign it? I'm hearing the auto. You know, you can't use the auto pen unless it's very strongly authorized, unless you show you know what the hell you're doing, which is impossible of him to show. So, I don't know. I think it's something we have to look into. You put people there that are not authorized to be there. I know I signed Chris Wright. I signed everything, but I signed Chris Wright. If I gave you an auto pen, they could throw you the hell out of here, Chris. The difference is they would do it, you know? We try and be too nice. No, would you check that, Scott, okay? Because I'm hearing that the auto pen could have signed maybe all four, but maybe a couple of them. We'll take two. So look at that Biden. I love that laugh. Who's the woman with that great hearty laugh? That's a woman that likes Trump. That's how beautiful. Anybody can laugh with that happiness. She likes Trump. He likes Trump too with the hat. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. So Biden, new yearly mortgage cost increases, and Trump, new yearly. Look, we went down with our rates. They went up with their rates much. That's a lot. So with us, you save $2,900, almost $3,000. And with them, you go up, it costs you $15,000. You don't hear that because the fake news doesn't tell you that. And these are charts, these are government charts. These are not made up by Donald J. Trump. These are government charts. Do you have a third chart? Because I like these charts very much. Not as much as Butler, but I like them. You have any other charts? Because so far they're playing quite well. Oh, look at that. Real wages. Look at that. Losses and Trump real wages gains for the typical worker.
Pan out.
Wow.
UBS.
I mean, that's incredible, right? So look at the amount of loss, 18.5, 106. What the hell is that all about? Is that even possible? Biden food, oh, I see. No, that's the eggs. You move that chart very quickly. I said, what's going on with that chart?
Now, do you health insurance?
That was Houdini did that.
Health insurance, car
I was
insurance.
saying, boy, I really like the numbers having to do with real wages, but you know, they played very well, but this plays very well too. So you have Biden food price increases, Trump, look at that. Look at that. So ours are decreases, all decreases, and they're moving down good. But look at AIDS, 106%, and we got them down 15%. Look at those numbers.
He said,
but you don't hear that from the fake news.
15%. That's
you don't hear that.
Right.
What do you think of that, David? I think we're going to have to do something. You know, we should impeach him, but he's gone. I guess we can't. Right? By the way, if it were up to them, numbers like that, they would have impeached. Those numbers are terrible, and those are government numbers. So thank you very much, everybody. It's good. We have a couple of other charts we're going to show you, too, that are just terrible. We're also working to bring down the cost of health care. Obamacare is a scam.
Here we go.
Under Obamacare, trillions of dollars were given directly to health insurance companies. Their stocks are up 1,700% in a very short period of time. Would you say that's good? Obamacare's primary purpose was to pay off insurance companies. You know, the insurance companies back the Democrats very heavily. I want to give billions of dollars directly to the people. I want to take all of the billions and actually trillions, but over a period of time. And I want to give all of that money we give to the big, fat, rich insurance companies. I don't want to give them nothing. I want to give nothing to the insurance companies. I don't want to give all, because they're sucking our country dry with this scam by the Democrats. That was Obama, and I've always said it, Obamacare, but now you see the numbers because your premiums are going up on Obamacare and everything. It's forcing everything on. But we want the money go directly to the people. We want you to go out and buy your own health insurance, and you'll get much better health insurance at a much lower cost. Everybody knows this is the best way to go, but the Democrats, they're bought and owned by the insurance companies. So let's see how many of them have the guts to vote for this. You know, we're putting in bills where all of that money, hundreds of billions of dollars, goes to the people to go out and buy your own health care. And everybody's different.
Where?
Some are young people,
Where are you
some are
supposed to buy
older
it?
people. It's a much different, really, set of criteria. In 4 years under Biden, Democrats secured less than $1 trillion in new investments in our country. Think of that, though. And we've done in 10 months, we've set the all-time country record by
21
many
trillion.
times. I'm going to get the exact
gonna
numbers
say it?
many times. 18, what are we? Are we over 18, right around 18 trillion? We could hit $20 trillion in the first year with 10 months, 18 trillion versus less than 1 trillion. And I'll
It's
tell you
less than
what,
a trillion.
it was going to go down if
number's made
it
up.
wasn't going to be like even anything. It would have been negative because companies were pouring out of our country. The stock market is set 51. This is in less than 10 months.
Good for boomers.
The stock market is set 51 all-time record highs. There's never been anything like that.
Third time.
Bomb,
Stock market.
bomb.
Good for
Bum, bum, bum.
people on stocks. 401k.
It's at, think of that. It's at 51 all-time record highs in less than 10 months. That was as of about 3 weeks ago. Before I entered office, 100% of all new net jobs were going to migrant workers. Think of that.
This is a good one, actually.
100% of new jobs were going to migrant. These are government numbers, by the way. These are not
He has done some good
Trump
things.
numbers. These are
Fair
government
enough.
numbers. Because they say, well, did Trump come up with these numbers? No,
I thought
didn't
this
come
was
up.
going
I'm
to be
just-
about affordability. though.
Migrant workers and illegal aliens.
I guess he's
got
just saying
100%.
how great he's doing.
But since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American citizens. How about that? Now, how about that? Even I will give myself a hand. Now, think of it. 100% went to American citizens before 100% went to people that came into the country illegally. Again, many of them from prisons, many of them gang members, drug members, Tren de Aragua. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. That's why when they ask about the economy, you know, you have fake polls. How's Trump doing? You hear these numbers. How's Trump doing on the economy? I was interviewed by a very hostile group today. I said, why am I doing these people? They're hostile. But they were relatively fair because they can't beat you. I don't mind. I can be interviewed by anybody. Were you concerned if you're doing badly, you don't want to be interviewed by bad people, but they can't do anything to you because the numbers speak. It was Politico. I did an interview today. It was a good interview because they have no ammunition. The one person said to me, it's unbelievable. Our economy is unbelievable. There's never been anything. But
for rich people,
the Democrats go out, prices are too high. Yeah, they're too high because they caused them to be too high. But now they're coming down. One of the most important ways we're defeating inflation is by unleashing American energy, including oil, gas, and clean, beautiful coal right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Gas, eggs.
Did you know I went to school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? The great Wharton School of Finance. I love the Wharton School. Became a little liberal, but these are minor details. But the Wharton School, one of the greatest schools in the world. I went here and I loved it. I loved the school and I love Philadelphia. Philadelphia's gotten a little rougher, but we're going to take it. And you have a great football coach and you have a great running back, Saquon.
Talking about the Eagles.
You know, I got to know Saquon a little bit.
Saquon sucks this year.
And my hand will never be the same. I patted him on the back. I said, Saquon, let's go. You're my partner today. Let's go win. Because it was like I hit a piece of steel. I said, what the hell is with you, Saquon?
Even Philadelphia fans hate the
He's
Eagles.
good. But he's a better football player than he is a golfer. Trust me. He's so strong. He's those muscles. He's just... But his football is great. His golf will be very good.
Sorry, guys.
Very good.
We won't put you through it again.
But we won. We won our match. And you do have a great coach. I was with you, Coach. I got a little streak going here, but that'll change. But he's a great coach. Well, you won the whole deal, right? I got to know him last year when he came to the White House, and I said, this guy's he's a real leader. The players loved him. And you had some players that are just, really fantastic guys. But you have a good football team. It's really good to watch.
Hurts
For
got
4
intercepted
long years,
4
Biden
times
and the
last night, I
Democrats
think.
tried to endlessly kill Pennsylvania energy jobs. They worked so hard to kill the jobs, They wanted wind all over the place, you know? Let's go buy those windmills for millions of dollars each from China. Every time it goes around, you lose $15. Did you know that? That's on average. You're supposed to make money with energy. You're not supposed to lose money with energy. And everybody that's doing wind is in virtual bankruptcy right now. If you look at UK, I told the prime, he's a nice man, Starmer, Prime Minister. I said, you know, you have a great energy source in the North Sea. Use it, or you're not going to be in office very long. Their energy prices, they're putting wind all over Scotland, all over beautiful, the most beautiful fields in the world, Scotland. All over beautiful. Oh, we have some Scottish people here. Where the hell did you come from? We have
that one
Scottish
guy in the
people.
back is wearing a shirt that says Persian
But they're
for
putting
Trump. That's
wind
pretty
all
funny.
over Scotland. The people are not thrilled with it. And it's
That's
costing them a
interesting.
fortune. They have the most expensive energy. And
That's what
I
Iranians
said,
call
I'm going to do you a
themselves.
favor. You could be there for a long time. Open up the North Sea oil. One of the greatest oil. And, you know, they like to say, well, it's very well depleted. No, it's good for another 500 years. And they haven't even found most of it yet. And if you look at Norway, they have a section of the North Sea, which in theory isn't as vibrant. And it's a very rich country. You know, they have a tremendous worth because of the North Sea. But UK has to, if they don't go back to oil, I think a lot of bad things are happening to Europe. You know, that their immigration policies are so bad. They're so bad. They're destroying our beautiful Europe. I love Europe. They're destroying Europe, and they better do something. I'll give them just some free advice. I'm focused here, but I give them free advice. They better be careful because immigration and energy are going to destroy Europe. On day one, I ended the war on Pennsylvania energy. I just terminated something that was insane. And we all love Elon. Elon was up here campaigning, right? But I said, Elon, I think electric cars are great, but not everybody wants an electric car. And I ended the insane electric vehicle mandate where everybody was supposed to have an electric car by the year like 2030 or some ridiculous year like that. It's just not going to be that way. I don't think it'll be some like hybrids, some kind of like gasoline powered. I mean, the nice thing about gasoline is we have 2,000 years worth of we have more gasoline, we have more oil and gas than any country anywhere in the world. Is that right?
Except for Venezuela.
And they want us to go to batteries. Let's go to batteries. We don't have battery content.
We're going to take over.
So let's go to batteries, according to these morons that were in our country. Let's not use oil and gas, which we have more than any country in the world. Let's go to batteries. Well, we have to go to the Congo and get it from China. But I actually stopped the war with Congo and Rwanda, and they said to me, please, please, we would love you to come and take our minerals, which we'll do.
We used to be so entertaining.
But I stopped the Green New Scam. It's
I remember
a total
tuning
scam.
in when he was talking about
And, you know, we had
all that stuff. It was
they used to
great.
call it global warming. Then
I
they
remember
called
when
it
his
15 other
speeches
things.
were
None
like
of them worked. So they came up
must-watch
with
TV.
climate
It would be
change.
so
Remember?
funny.
Climate change. Because you can't go wrong with climate change if it goes up.
Mexico's
Remember
gonna
global
pave the
warming,
wall,
and then
remember
the
that?
temperature started
Lock
going
her
down
up.
like a rock.
That was
Remember?
good. Those were the good old
Remember,
days.
we had global warming, and they sent that big, beautiful ship with all scientists on it, and it went into deepest Alaska. It went up through the ice. And
What
the
is he
global
talking about?
warming, it was getting so warm, except unfortunately they had a bad few weeks. It got so cold that the ice just crushed the ship. We had to take those poor bastards out by helicopter. We're like, the scientists, they said, one guy was petrified of helicopter. He said, I have a choice, go down in the ice with the ship or go in a helicopter. He chose the helicopter. But
I don't
we
blame
have a
people
very
for
simple
tuning out.
policy,
We're
right, Chris?
losing a few viewers.
Drill, baby, drill. We have a simple policy.
We're not going to be able
And
to afford
natural
to drill
gas
anymore,
production
though,
is booming.
'cause
Coal
oil's
mining
like
is up by
too
2.4
cheap.
million tons a month.
Coal third
And we're also
time.
reviving Pennsylvania manufacturing. And with our
Pennsylvania
historic tariffs,
manufacturing,
steel
already did
production
that.
is roaring back.
Tariffs,
We're building
steel.
steel mills all over the country. And
You're
U.S.
feeding
Steel
yourself.
is coming back at a level never thought possible before. And I was up. And I was up here and with the workers and with Selena. Do you know Selena? Does everybody know? And with some other people. We were up with some great people, and we spent the whole day, and they were determining whether or not they want to make which one of the deals. I went to the workers. I said, which one do you like? We picked the right one. As I said before, billions of dollars they're spending. And the steel workers are doing phenomenally better. I think you're going to do better than you've ever done before. You were losing all of your steel. If we didn't have tariffs, you would have no steel. We wouldn't have one steel mill anywhere in the United States. And that would be really bad for, Scott, national security. We need, the one thing you need steel. You know, you can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. That's under the China policy. You know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need one or two. You know, they don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need $37. So we're doing things right. We're running this country right. We're also putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of hardworking Pennsylvanians with the largest tax cuts in American history. That's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax. And all of that kicks in on January 1st. You know, it hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, we're doing great, and it hasn't kicked in yet, and it's amazing. And it's one of the reasons they said, sir, would you mind going on the trail? And I actually like it, you know. I have fun. I haven't read practically anything off the stupid teleprompter.
I wonder what it said.
And then my speechwriters they're getting awards for some of the finest speeches, and I haven't even read them. And the award for the finest writer in the history of speech making, Ross. Where are you, Ross? Are you here, Ross? Where the hell is Ross? Ross, are you here? Look, first time I've ever introduced him. Ross, get over here. I got it. He's a young, handsome man. He's the greatest.
People in the back behind him are totally faded.
Thank you, Ross. Very low-key guy.
I don't know what's going on.
Thank you. Look at Ross. He's so shy. I can't believe
How long has
it.
he been live?
We're joined today by Donna
hour and a half.
Zajac, a mom and a waitress of over 45 years who lives in Stroudsburg. Does everybody know where Strouds? I know where it is. Because of no tax on tips, Donna estimates she will keep hundreds of additional dollars every single
I get
month.
to declare everything.
And she'll
as a
put
tip, I guess.
all
as a
of that
live
money
streamer.
toward her daughter's
Once
dream
my
of
channel gets
becoming a
monetized again, you
veterinarian.
guys
That's a
give me
good
super chat.
right?
But even buy me a coffee. I think it's a tip, technically. So it is it is good. That is the one thing.
Are you here,
for poor
Donna?
people.
Where's Donna?
No tax on tip.
Oh, come on up, Donna. Come on.
It's good for
Come on.
everybody who has to work.
You
at
want, say a
Starbucks.
few words. Look how beautiful she is. She stood up.
No tax on
She wasn't
overtime.
supposed to come up, but when I looked at her, I said, come on up, Donna. Look how beautiful she is. You're not allowed to say that anymore. You know, in politics, if you say somebody's beautiful, that's the end of your political career. I say, I don't care. I don't care. Come on up, Donna.
Are these people coming? He asked the other guy to come up, but he didn't come up. Who's Donna?
Oh, it's so happy to meet you.
Say a few words.
Was she just somebody from the audience?
Say whatever. This is always dangerous.
Thank you, Trump. Thank you to President Trump for having me. This is like my sister dream, but I love you too. My sister Ann loved you too. But yes, but that money, that would help me with my daughter's tuition. Yes, make it a lot easier.
Big difference.
For sure. Yeah, we love it. Thank you. Thank you.
You didn't mention that tuition has gone up.
The star is born. That's all I say. A star is born. Is your sister here? Is your sister here, Donna? Are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Good family. Well, thank you. Thanks, Donna. That's beautiful. Also with us is Marine Corps veteran Sean Downey, who now serves as a firefighter and a local first responder. Sean worked over 400 hours of overtime. That's a lot. And thanks to no tax on overtime, he'll take home thousands of dollars extra, which he plans to use to buy your first home. And thank you. Where's Sean? Good, Sean. Good. So you're going to use that money well, right? That was not an easy one to get approved. You know, it all went through Congress. I had to really push hard. I was not nice.
Slash Medicaid.
I was not nice to get you that money, but you're going to use that money to get a house, right? A first house? Good. Well, you have a great future. Thank you very much. And here as well is Megan Hemhauser from Cresco, Pennsylvania. Megan's husband works 10 to 15 hours of overtime a week operating heavy equipment while she bartends and waits tables at night and homeschools her 2 children during the day, getting more and more prevalent. Homeschooling getting more and more. It's happening. That's okay. It's good. But thanks to no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, more than a quarter of their income will be tax-free. Megan, do you want to come up? Come on, Megan. Come on up.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much. As President Trump said, I'm a mom, a wife. I homeschool my 2 brilliant children. And the no tax on tips is incredible. No tax on overtime is incredible for my husband. And it all comes back to our family. It saves us, and it's for the future of our children. And it's been such a blessing to be home with them and to have them here with me tonight. And thank you for everything, President.
You know what's great? So she had these notes, right? Not notes, it's a speech. She never even looked at it. She was great. It's much better when you don't have to read it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So I just thought, great job. That's a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's great. Never looked at the notes. She never looked at those notes. That's pretty cool. I have a lot of professionals sitting right here. They'll get up and read a speech. But Megan didn't have to do that. Another key part of our tax cuts is known as Trump accounts. Under this new program, the federal government will be creating an investment savings account for every single newborn American child with $1,000 to be invested and grow over the course of their life, right at the beginning of birth. Friends, family, employers, and loved ones will be able to add thousands of dollars a year. And it's like a trust fund for every American child. It's going to be something, and it's really exciting. And I want to thank Michael Dell and his beautiful Dell computer. Go out and buy a Dell computer. He got it started. He put up $6.25 billion. And he started with nothing. Think of that. And he just put that up, $6.25 billion. Michael Dell, thank you wherever you may be. Michael is probably in Texas watching us right now. And his beautiful wife, they're a great couple. His wife is incredible. Every single Democrat in Congress voted against these unbelievable benefits for American families. Why would you vote against? Money is being put up, big money is being put up. And you know, these kids, when they get to be 18, 20, 21, 30, 35 years old, they could have $100,000, $200,000, and they're going to be rich. I mean, they're going to feel rich, and they're going to be watching it grow, and they may be helping it grow. Who knows? You never know. But it's going to teach them. It's going to be a great thing. This was Michael and some other people's ideas. They wanted to do this, and they spoke with their wallet, too. They put up a tremendous amount of money. So I just want to thank Michael Dell, his wife and family, and everybody else that was with us the other day. It was a big day, and it's a big event. But we're joined today by some of your representatives who voted to put more money in your pockets. And these are great people. And I introduced David. I'm going to ask him to stand up again because David McCormick is a really great man in the truest sense. He won a race.
David McCormick?
You know, he really did well the first
Keeps
time
talking
too,
about
but
people that
bad
nobody
things
knows.
happened, right? And very few people
Or maybe it's
are willing to do that again. And to be honest, if he would have lost, I know his wife. She's a beautiful woman, extremely into the social scene, but respected by everybody. She would have left him if he lost. And I told him, Dina would have left him. She's she's that way. Hey, we can't help it. That's the way she is. So I said, David, you're taking a big risk if you run again, because if you lose twice, your wife is leaving you. And he wasn't worried. Stand up. David McCormick. Yeah. He was so great. He followed me every single time I spoke. He was there and he got up and he'd speak. And I'll tell you, we had big crowds, David, and the audience listened to you. In fact, they liked him more than they liked me in some cases. I was thinking about, let's keep him off the stage. But they really loved you. And you've been a great senator. And you have a great wife. Thank you very much. Thank you. And a congressman who's been a warrior, and a couple of guys that have just been unbelievable. But Rob Bresnahan, would you stand up, Rob? What a job you're doing, huh? Young, handsome, central casting. Great job. Thank you very much, Rob. Great job. And another one. These are warriors, these two guys. But the three of them. And then you have the senator, but the three of them. Ryan McKenzie. Ryan, thank you. And it's hard for me to explain how hard they work, but they were working so hard getting that big, beautiful bill. I call it the great, big, beautiful bill passed. You know, that was supposed to be in 17 bills. And I actually said it because I'm not that experienced. I haven't been doing it that long, believe it or not. I haven't been doing this. I had one man, he was a congressman, and we had a big meeting, and he was telling us all how to do something. And I said, I disagree with that. He said, sir, I've had 22 races, and I've won 20 of them. I know what I'm doing. And I said, sir, I've had 3 races, and I've won all 3 of them. And mine was for president. And he said, all right, you got me on that. He's actually a good man. He got a little carried away one day. But that's because these guys wanted to do it my way, too. So we had 17 bills prepared, Dan Muser, right? Stand up, Dan. What a great guy. Stand up, Mrs. Muser. Dan is
We're going to
Dan
get
is
through
a
it,
really,
It'll be
he's a very
over
powerful
one day.
congressman, but he's a great person, great man. All 3 of these guys, they're warriors. And your senator is like, I mean, very few people that I've ever met that would take that risk. It was a risk. You know, it takes guts to run for public office, right? It takes guts. A lot of guys talk, including me. I talked about this for a long time before I did it. It takes courage to run for any public office because, you know, you can be very embarrassed. You can ruin your life. Look at me. I got impeached. I got indicted. I was never going to be impeached, indicted. I get indicted like 87 times with these. See, they should have indicted me once. They would have had a better chance. With all of the, I used to get up. It was very important. I'd get up and say, here we go again, ladies and gentlemen, I got indicted again. And nobody believed the whole thing. And then I'd explain it, and it turned out to be a hoax. I mean, it was a total hoax. They're very, very bad, very, very bad people. But Dan Muser has been a great congressman. He was thinking about running for governor. I think you would have won if you ran, but you know, in a selfish way, I like you in Washington even better. So I want to thank you very much. Great. Great job. Thank you. That's even more important. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks as well to Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright. You guys have been great. Thank you. I introduced them, but I want to introduce because they have been so good. A major factor that fueled inflation under Biden was the invasion of 25 million people. Think of this, 25 million people came into our country totally unchecked and unvetted, mostly across our southern border. 10 months ago, we inherited the worst border in the history of the world, and now we have the strongest border in the history of our country. We've never had a border this. And people don't talk about it. You notice they don't talk about it. When I was running, it was the biggest thing. And before I was running, that's all they talked about, the border, the border, the border. And now I fixed it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Even my people, they say, sir, don't put it in your speech. Why? Because nobody cares about the border. You fixed it. No, but you know how bad that is? Because they forget what you did. We had a border that was so bad. Everybody, criminals, everybody pouring into our country. Anybody. You know, the Congo, I just settled that war. The Congo, their entire prison population was set into our country. Venezuela,
Congo,
their
how'd they do
entire
that?
prison population was dumped into our country.
How did the Congo do
And
that all the
now
way from Africa?
we have the tightest border we've ever had. We have one of the strongest borders anywhere in the world. I would say there's one country that has probably a stronger border. You know what that is? You know what that is? North Korea. North Korea, I think, has a stronger border. But other than North Korea has 7 walls of wire, and each of them has 1 million volts of electricity going through it. So if you get over one, you're dead for the next one. If you get over one, you're in very bad shape. If you get over 2, you've set a record. So I don't know, Scott, I think we give North Korea the safest border. Don't you agree? You know, but ours is pretty safe. And I want to thank Pete Hegseth and the military for helping us.
He lost me.
And again, for 7 months in a
We're
row,
gonna-
we've had
we're gonna
0
get through
illegal
it, though.
aliens that have been admitted to the United States. And
There's more Candace news for tomorrow.
Do you remember when Biden said, I need legislation to do that? And I said, no, all you need is a new president. I didn't get legislation. Right? Scott, did I get legislation? I said, close the freaking border right now. And they did it because our border patrol is incredible. ICE is incredible. That ICE, poor ICE, they take a lot of abuse, but they're the toughest people. And again, Washington, D.C. now is, we had the tragedy, which was a terrorism tragedy, but we have Washington, D.C., the safest it's been in 52 years. Think of that. And a year ago,
all the way
you
till
couldn't
the
walk
end.
down a street in Washington, our nation's
Keep staying
capital.
here
And
with
now
me.
restaurants are booming, restaurants are opening. The restaurants were all closing. Now the restaurants are opening. You can't get into a restaurant in Washington, D.C. Biden and the radical left Democrats turned Pennsylvania into a dumping ground for hundreds of thousands of migrants from the most dysfunctional places on earth, like Somalia, and gave them billions and billions of your taxpayer dollar. But we didn't really give it. It was stolen. And those people should go to jail. Jail.
There we go.
And if they don't go to jail, Scott Bessent is toast. He's toast. I'll tell you, that could be the easiest case. I think it's too easy for you. Just give it to your assistants. They can do that case. These people are crooks. They don't work. 91% unemployment. Okay? It's a scam. And it's headed up by the crooked Congresswoman. Whatever happened to her brother, by the way? Is he still around? Where is he? Yeah, he went low. He went low. He's not happy. Would you look into him too, Scott? Would you find out the brother, please? She said, how dare you say that about me? It's discrimination. Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We did great. Thank you. I like this guy. Thank you. We got a tremendous black vote. We got a tremendous Hispanic vote. We got a tremendous, because we speak the truth. They get it. Everybody gets it. Everybody, pretty much everybody gets it. And they know we're the real deal. Our country's become so strong in such a 10 months. Think of it. It's not even a year. It's like, if we keep going like this, I don't know if we can do that. But if we keep going like this, there'll be nothing ever in history like it. Already, they are saying better than Lincoln, better than Washington, better than anybody. The best 10 months ever in the history of the presidency. And for the first time in 50 years, we now have reverse migration, which means more jobs, better wages, and higher income for American citizens, not for illegal aliens. And you know what? We all have a heart. We want to take care of people. But these people are getting killed on the walk up. They're dying. They're dying. They have to go through jungles. We don't realize this. They are going through areas that are not it's not possible to get through some of the areas. They're going through jungles down in the Central America, South America, some of these areas with snakes, with crocodiles and alligators. They're getting just eaten alive, and they're getting beat up by some of the bad people. Women are being raped. Remember when I started, I said, we're going to stop the raping of women in those caravans, a name conceived of by me, because it's a caravan, thousands of people, 10, 15, 20,000 people coming up. The women in those caravans are being raped in unprecedented numbers by other people in the caravans. By them not coming, they're not even trying to come now because they know they can't get through. We're doing a tremendous service because they're not being killed and they're not being raped and they're staying back in their country where they've been. And they've been taken care of. I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shithole, you did. Remember I said that to the senators that came in? The Democrats, they wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark. Do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people. Do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships. But they don't go after our ships. You know why? Because that same missile that knocks the crap out of them, that with the drug dealers from Venezuela and others. That same missile, think of it, from hundreds of miles away, we have the greatest military, we have the greatest equipment, we make the greatest equipment in the world. I bought more equipment. We rebuilt the military in the first term. Then Stupid Joe gave a lot of it to Afghanistan, but it was a lot, but relatively little, but we're still adding to it a lot. But I'll tell you what, I'm looking at this big tough guy with the red hat on, I like that guy. But stand up, let me just see what you look like. Nobody's going to mess with him.
Do you want to keep it going?
He's Central
People are
Cast.
tuning out.
Thank you
It
very
could be
much.
because of
Very
me.
good. I see he's
I
enjoying it.
noticed
I
we
like
didn't
people
get
that
many
enjoy
Trump
things
supporters
because
today.
you got
I
to
guess
smile
the
about
audience
this whole
has been
thing.
pruned a little
But that
bit.
same missile
We used to have a
system
lot of Trump supporters.
that hits the center of everyone. Remember,
Maybe
every
people
boat
used
that
to be
gets hit,
Trump
we don't want to
supporters,
do
they're
that,
not
but every
anymore.
boat that gets hit, we save 25,000 American lives. Every boat.
I'm trying to just. get
And when
through
you
the
view
whole
it that
thing.
way, you don't mind.
See, I want to know what the policy is. I haven't heard any policy.
But we have that same
Except for
system
tariffs.
aimed at Somalia.
I've heard
And if they
gas
go
is
and want to
lower.
raid our ships, and not
I've
our
heard we're
ships,
getting
worldwide
coal.
shipping.
I've heard the stock
You know, they
market
used to
is
go and
doing
take
well.
the ships. When one or two
Multiple
of them get hit, they say, we'll pass. So we've cut down drugs, 94%
This is
coming in
supposed to be a
from
big
sea.
speech about affordability.
94.
But he hasn't said
Right?
things are unaffordable. He says
94%,
things are
Muser.
cheaper.
94%, Muser. That's pretty good. We're trying to figure out who the hell are the other 6%. They're finding it very hard to get people to navigate those waters. The problem is nobody wants to go fishing anymore either. They don't want to get in boats. They don't want anything to do with boats. I think we've destroyed the boat market. Other than that, it's been very effective. We've cut it down 96%. Think of that. And now we're going to do land because the land is much easier and it's even more prevalent. If you don't share our values, contribute to our economy, and assimilate into our society, then we don't want you in our country. We don't want you. I mean, Ilhan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. And they think we're stupid people, which actually, when they allow that to happen, they are. That's headed by Governor Walz, one of the dumber people around. No, but think of it. He's given not like peanuts, billions. These are people that don't work in their own country. Their own country's a failure. They have no money there. And yet they come into our country and steal tens of billions of dollars. How stupid are we to allow that to happen? They can't earn 10 cents in their country. They come over here and rob. Are we that easy? Are we that easy to allow a thing like that to happen? That's up to you. And look at what's going on in North Carolina. We have a big Senate race. We have a fantastic man, Michael Whatley, running
Democrat
as a
just won
Republican, head of the
mayor of
Republican
Miami.
Party. Won elections, won the presidential election
First
for us.
time in like
He's running
100
against
years.
a governor who's a radical left lunatic. And Michael should win. I don't know. It's hard. You beat a two-term governor, but the
30
governor
years.
didn't do a good job. But what's happening in North Carolina? Two of the most vicious murders that anyone's ever seen in Charlotte. And it's all run by the Democrats.
I'm
What's
about
going
to
on
make an
there?
executive decision.
Young lady from Ukraine, you saw that
Okay.
one where guy from behind
I
just
think
cut
he
her
said what
throat
he's going to say.
on tape.
I just
Can't
don't want to
even
miss
watch it.
anything. That
What's
the
going on in
speechwriters
North
actually
Carolina?
wrote for
You
him.
need a Republican running that, and you've got to have a Republican senator elected. If you
Trying
don't,
to
and
be
Michael
educated.
Watley's running,
Trying
he's
to
going to
bring
be
the
great.
news
So
to
we have
people.
people from North Carolina here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be wasting so many words. It's a Senate race, but you agree with me, I think, Mr. Senator, right? Together, we've achieved more in less than 1 year than most other administrations have
There's
achieved
back
in
to
8
the
years.
teleprompter.
And we're restoring law and order to our cities, backing the men and women of law enforcement. I love law enforcement. And standing with the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol. We've ended political correctness in our military. We've renamed the Department of Defense into the Department of War.
That's a good one. Thank God. What a
I
difference.
said to Pete, Pete's a tough cookie. And I said to Pete, I used to do interviews with him, and all he wanted to talk about was the military. I said, this guy's great, smart guy, great education, great everything. The press gave him a hard time, real hard time, but he's really proven to be very, very good, very, very strong. Young, strong, smart. We have Raisin Cain, the great general who knocked out ISIS for us in 4 weeks. Raisin Cain, they said it was going to take, right? They said it was going to take 5 years.
Can't take it anymore. Sorry. We tried. Thanks, everybody. Whew. To sum up, I'll just sum up. It's not going to get any better, I don't think. I can tell people in the chat are not especially engaged with it. But we showed you what President Trump is saying. He's going to go on tour all year. He did not give any policy prescriptions. And there's nothing new. Basically, nothing new that I heard. He said interest rates are down. Interest rates wouldn't be down, except that the employment numbers are bad. That's the only reason they're lowering rates, because inflation is still higher than they want it to be. If inflation was actually down, then they could cut rates. But inflation is still higher than they want it to be. The only reason they're cutting rates is because the economy is not doing well. Gas is lower, probably because the economy is not doing as well as he says. The stock market's higher because of phony AI, because we have an AI bubble, probably. Silver is higher, which may be an indication that the whole thing is about to explode. But silver is higher, which is good for people who have silver. but not necessarily a good sign. The rise in gold and silver are not necessarily a good sign for the broader economy, especially when they're going like this. Look at this chart. Whew, silver really does pump. I'm just wondering, I could buy more, but I'm wondering if I should buy the dip. It does this. Silver is just a crazy thing. It spikes and then it drops. I was buying some in 2011 too, when it was like $50, but then it dropped a lot. But I did keep buying some. At least I did okay on it, but silver is up. Oil is down. He didn't prescribe any way that he's going to do anything better. So I don't know how it's going to be received. Don't think it's going to help him with independents or Democrats who voted for him. He just says things are great, which young people in particular don't believe. People without 401ks, etc. But no tax on tips. We're going to get that money back. No tax on overtime. It's good. It's difficult to listen to. It'll be my last time covering one of them, I think, because it'll just be the same every time. So people are talking about Candace. She went crazy today. Tim Pool is live talking about Candace. So the drama will continue. We'll get more people tuned in for the drama. Should we still buy silver? Don't know. Probably. Gold is probably safer if you're in monk mode, but if you're in max leverage mode, silver is going insane. We'll see what happens from here. The one thing that'll be interesting is if the AI bubble pops. I've been reading a lot of stuff about NVIDIA. I think OpenAI, ChatGPT, they're going to be the first ones to fail, I think. Too much debt, no income. Everybody's going to get AI chatbots for free. I just use Gemini for free. I think Google's going to give it away for free. I never hit a limit. I used to hit a limit with ChatGPT. They still have people paying $20 a month, but that won't last long. And they're going to go $1 trillion in debt. They buy all the NVIDIA stuff. We will see what happens with the stock market, because when the stock market goes down, then he's really going to be in trouble. Because the housing market, I'm just curious what's going to happen next year. Next year could be really bad. If this year was any indication, this year had record layoffs. Probably some of it because of AI, some of it just because of tariffs. Tariffs are his favorite word. Don't know. What did you guys learn? I saw a lot of negativity in the chat, but we didn't get that many people tuned in to listen to him. Most people aren't covering him. Candace did her show. Tim did his show. They didn't cover it live. We covered it live because we like to give you guys the real news and commentary, but definitely the last time, I think. So we know what he's going to say every time. Everything's great. We're doing great. They did it. We're fixing it. Wait till next year. Tariffs, etc. So there we go. Arbolo says Apple needs to lease AI for their phones. I have everything Apple. And I think it's fantastic. The products are really amazing and not that expensive either when you think about it. Like, I just got a Mac Mini and a 4K monitor to replace my iMac. It was like, with the sales, it was like $700 for a supercomputer, basically. M4 chip and everything. I think Apple's going to be okay. They need AI. They need AI for the computer, which they don't have, but I think they're actually going to come out okay. A bunch of people quit Apple, but they are going to lease AI. They're going to work with Google, apparently. Apparently, they're going to pay Google $1 billion a year to use Gemini for Siri. So, and that's probably the smart thing, so they don't have to spend so much money. But we'll see what happens with Apple. A bunch of people are leaving the company, including the guy who's in charge of chips. And they've made some really good chips. So kind of wondering what's going to happen with them. But I think actually their strategy is going to be okay in the end. They didn't invest the money, but actually the investment might not be worth it in the end because everything's going to depreciate so fast. Yeah, Ben, did I? Yeah, I took advantage of the holiday sales. It was like $177 for the monitor on Amazon, and then the computer was $479, $100 off at Costco. And I consulted Gemini, and I can sell my old computer for something, hopefully for like $300. So actually, net is pretty cheap for a supercomputer. I mean, what used to be considered a supercomputer, the M4 chip stuff. It's pretty cool. I use my iPhone for I have the cheap iPhone, the 16E, which actually I own now, and I could take on any plan. But camera's pretty good. It's all pretty good. Don't know if it's still on sale, but if you can do a desktop computer, it's a good deal. The problem with the iMac is you're paying mostly for the screen, and then you can't keep the screen. And then when you sell it, you don't get compensated really. Like it'd be worth as much as a monitor as it is as a computer. I have the 5K iMac, but can't use the display. I see people who converted the display to a display selling it for more than an iMac. It's crazy. But yeah, the problem is the AI bubble is going to pop. Some of these companies aren't going to work out. And then that's going to bring down Bitcoin is what I'm afraid of, because Bitcoin still trades like it's an AI stock most of the time. So, but Bitcoin did well today. I have my Bitcoin Save shirt. You can buy Bitcoin shirts on our website, truthclothing.io. Let me check my coffees. I saw somebody said they bought me a coffee. I think I saw one. Thanks for supporting the show. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back to regular news tomorrow. We were live for 3 hours right now. Share this tab. Buy me a coffee. Let's see. The Branch bought a coffee, said, could you please play Alex Jones indie folk song, We Love Our Somalis? Okay, I can do that, The Branch. The Branch is one of our main contributors. So we got one coffee tonight. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully some people will buy some t-shirts. Hopefully we'll get remonetized on YouTube so we can take advantage of our no tax on tips. I think it's still hard for people to go to another website to drop tips, but that's okay. We're doing okay. Things are going okay. What was I going to do next? Play We Love Our Somalis. Okay. I should go on X for that, right? We Love Our Somalis song, Alex Jones. Let's see. Yes, here we go. We'll play us out. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Sorry it was a drag. I mean, not because of me, but because it was like a really rambly speech. Hold on. Got to fix this. Lost sound.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive. You're selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin.
Good call, Brad.
They run around screaming, we love Satan, we want to eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. In a room, vampire pot and the goblins hobbling round, coming after.
Wonder if I'm gonna get this blocked.
Spirit gets
50
close
countries.
to that evil, and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
All right. Shout out to everybody. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Whoever saw this show, I appreciate you. You're the best. We are the resistance. We are the future. You guys take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here, same channel, etc. We'll talk about Candace Owens and Tim Pool, I'm sure. And then we'll talk about some other stuff that's important, hopefully. We will go on. We will prevail. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll see you. For now, that's what it is.